Good.
Uh,
I can just do this tonight until Holly gets here and then I can never shut it. I know.
Good morning.
Rude awakening. There. I look forward to the day that we don't have to keep turning lights off to see that. That would be lovely. So, anyways, Holly, she's on her way, you said?
Yes, she's in the parking lot, so she should be.
Any moment then, all right.
I saw her pull in as I was walking, because I double booked myself, so I came from the library.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you know, I wanted to tell you too, we were so excited. You know the Bluebird project, the houses?
Yes.
We have bluebirds in it this year.
Oh.
Yeah, so we put the house on, my husband put it on a thing, and we knew something was nesting there, but we couldn't see what it was, and they packed that sucker full. So we kept sitting there with binoculars where we couldn't get it, so finally in the morning, I woke up and it was sitting on top of the house, and I grabbed my binoculars, oh, it's one. So, and then we saw the bluebird going in and out, it was so exciting. So, yeah, that was a great project. How are you, Holly? Good to see you.
How you doing?
Good. I was just saying, we have bluebirds in the bluebird house from
Nice.
the project. They're
That's
really
exciting.
awesome.
Oh, I had a chickadee come in mine.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had bluebirds finally this year. I think we had chickadees last year, and this year the bluebirds figured it out.
Yeah.
Anybody's
Good.
alone.
Yeah.
I bet.
You never know. They're gonna move, the kingbirds, they have like 3 nests a year, so I'm sure someone might.
Oh,
There's still time.
oh,
So we have 2. So anyways, good evening. This is the Bunganut Pond Committee meeting on May 28th, 2024. Roll call from left.
Kevin Bear.
Karen Kane. Holly Hart.
Michelle Pelisetti.
Misty Silhouette.
Holly Woldrich.
Rusty Black.
And Liz is the only one that couldn't make it this evening. She did let us know, so we wish her well wherever she is tonight. So I just did a brief agenda. Like I said, it's kind of, we're still in the middle of trying to figure out where we're going, I guess. In my world anyways, that's where, like the minutes I sent to the select board, they want a report like once a month of what we're doing or what we're talking about. It doesn't mean we're doing it. There would never be anything submitted to the board that we're doing it unless we had a big vote together. So that's just, if anyone has input they want given to the select board, let me know. I just kind of throw everything in there. So I'm gonna keep the walkabout notes attached as we go along because I think there's such a lot of valuable information from that. I'll fix the little weird symbol that came up when I brought it into a different computer. Keep them kind of there because they're good reference material, and I just put Kevin in survey because I know here and there you're collecting things. It's
Yes.
not like where's the big survey, Kevin? It's like, I know you're surveying part of the beach, the levels, and I know you did that.
Yeah, that's my top priority, and I'm hoping to get out there this week.
Yeah.
to,
Yeah, and I know, I mean, we all have busy lives, we're all on committees and summer's here and hopefully some vacation. Field rental I put in there if we want to revisit that at all. I mean, I know we've made our recommendations to the select board. I didn't know if there was any more thoughts on that, or we just want to kind of let the select board take it from there, or if we have.
What are the recommendations?
Did we make a recommendation?
We gave them the stuff we had. I think we did for the pines, right? And there was, yeah, we gave them stuff for the pines. And then field rental, I think we gave them what our thoughts were, but we didn't like say, here's because Karen did that lovely Excel sheet and I showed them what we were working with, but we hadn't come to a thought process on what to do, so. It's one of those
What was
things.
the recommendation on the pines? I think I missed that. You remember?
What did we tell them? Do you guys remember?
No,
Just
I don't remember that at all.
No, the rental price we talked
Yes.
about. We did make it, we all talked
Go
about it.
back and look at the notes.
Do you remember what?
I'm drawing
what
a
was it,
total
you guys?
blank on the
I don't
rental
think
fee
you
for
did.
the pines. I don't
I don't
remember.
remember that. I remember
going
us
over it in the
talking
select
about the fees, but not coming up with an exact.
Well, I know, I think remember we were given all the stuff from the live, the slips, the pricing.
Yes.
I think I have that with
That's
me.
from this one. Do you remember?
I think I just had printed out a bunch when Lindsay first
Mhm.
forwarded over, but I didn't print everything because there was so
Right.
much. Pines, amenities, rules and regulations.
Sorry, I'm talking to myself. I know what you did there, too. I think we talked, at least we did talk about, we thought that it should go up the way, like the amount of,
Rental fee.
yeah, for like the amount per head or something like that, the way they had it listed, right, it was like, what, 50 to 100, like it was kind of a big, large. And then was it 100 and over, there was like $8 a head, but we never did it or something like that.
That's kind of-
Yeah. So field rental and pines rental, put that in there too. Does anyone remember what the price was? I have it here, actually.
Which? For pines?
Mhm.
I have
I'm trying to find
250
it. but I-
daily.
For the pines,
That's
Was
what
it-
the sheet says, like the, you know, the form that they fill out. They put the date,
that's right, and then why they were
250.
accidentally charging 200 for some people, and it's supposed to be 250, but it was like the,
And that was for a full day or?
I think it's only a full day, like you have to do it by full day. I don't think it was,
Daily.
and you guys got all this stuff, right? All the pictures I sent you. guys, all
Is
that?
that for just one section of the pines or the whole pines?
One section, I believe.
Yeah.
One picnic
One
table,
little.
like a kid's center.
I don't know how many picnic tables are included in one, but they were doing 2, right? And our goal was to get to 3.
They were doing just one.
They were just doing one.
Just doing one.
So, yeah, so that doesn't make sense to me, that you would have one that people can use for free, and right next to it, you have one that people have to pay $250 for. So why don't we make it 3 that are rented out? Why is that first one not rented? Anybody have any history on that?
No.
I don't know, it's just always been like that, I think. I've never known any
It
different.
seems so weird to me that you could use that one for free, but the one right next to it you have to pay for.
I think the big difference is they rent it out, they can guarantee no one's gonna be there.
Right,
Because if you don't rent it, there's no people
Here it
never
is.
get there.
so total cost is $250 for 100 attendees.
Say it again. 250.
So total cost is $250 for up to 110 attendees, is what I have. And then they have additional attendees over 100 at $10 a head is what I have here. And this is from, geez, there's no year, this is 2023. So this is last year's A form that I had someone fill out. So I have that. I know, like, it seems like basically like when like this was water or rec, they just would fill out 100, but there was no exact number, like there's no head count really. When they show up, no one head counts anything. It's just here you go and that's it.
I'm always looking at revenue, so I'm thinking we can triple that if the demand is there easily.
Right, and then right now, I mean, has anyone gotten down to the chapel to see what it looks like? Apparently they did clean up all the way to the chapel.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to get down there this weekend, I just couldn't.
I did go last week. And it was great.
Oh, good,
Yeah, I didn't go all the way down to the chapel.
okay. Yeah, I
The
wanted to
kids
get
swam
too.
down that end. It looks fantastic.
It
The
does.
cleanup does,
Oh,
yeah.
good. Yeah, look, I know they had to stop the stack some stuff to the side that's too big to get out right now until they get someone in there end of year or next year to clean, to get them
It's
out.
off to the side though and
Yep.
looked good.
Were the benches down or no?
Picnic tables were all, I don't think that the ones at the main beach were, but in the Pines, they were all dispersed,
Oh,
I
good,
believe.
good.
We were using them, yeah.
And I know, I think last I knew the recipe where the old grill's gone.
No, I don't think anything's been.
It was still wet
Taken out,
for her to
yeah.
get her tractor out. So I think
But
that's-
she actually said that the last meeting that she thought she'd be able to pull it out
Okay, cool,
now, so it should be.
awesome, awesome.
And has the bookings for the Pines been going through, Lindsay? Do we know?
I guess with the contracts and everything, it's still going through the line this year. This is their final year on their,
Oh, because it's still in the contract.
so that they're manning everything. So I did see them blast it on their Facebook page, so that was good. So that is something that if we feel we have 3 sections to offer for them, I don't see why there's any reason we can't go down and kind of demarcate where they are and tell the Y, this is the demarcation. I mean, now, it comes to call, will 100 people fit in each section?
Mm.
If you break it off into 2, are we gonna have to
Like
do
maybe,
more
yeah,
porta
2.
potties?
Right, you'd have to have, I mean, the porta potties would actually be between the two sections, because you'd have the trail to go off to the chapel. The porta potties where they call it pines, and then the one to the other side would be, I'm talking looking from the lake, sorry, I should probably look the other way. My head looks from Lake Board. What's your thoughts on porta potties, Rusty? Like, where would you, because you really can't get them down to the chapel, right?
No, I was just thinking it's just gonna be something we'll have to think about. I wasn't.
Yeah. I think right now everyone, if they're close enough, they can walk to those, right?
Yeah, they're right at the road that comes
Right.
in.
And then do they put porta potties down low? Like at the beach level?
They used to.
Do you know where?
Yeah.
By the poison ivy.
Yeah, like where the wet part is, but closer to the hill.
Oh, where they
By
took
the
down the house,
old-
what was there, the,
Fish and stuff, yeah.
okay, alright, so yeah, so people on that end of the pines could walk to those or to the ones in the middle. So still
Yeah.
accessible. So, like, what's your thought process? Do we wanna talk about pine rental? Because we started down the road last time and left off and seen field rentals, same thing, or we wanna go into new business, what do you guys wanna do, it's your call.
The pine rentals, if we do 3, how do you get, like, if someone's in the middle or in the
Or
end,
the
how do you
end.
get, if they're filled, how do you get to the other one? Like, you'll have people going through, right?
It wouldn't really that bad, because you have that one, you know, the one road that comes into the main to
Common
Pines, right? And then they can come in from the beach area to the first Pines.
First one, and
The
then
second Pines has the path
go
on the way
straight
in,
there.
and there's enough room for it to kind of veer off to go down to the chapel, where they can just cut to the
They
side
can
of
cut
it.
through maybe another path, maybe.
Yeah, maybe you could. or
I
just
could
give them a-
I could see the third Pines, the chapel, whatever we want to call it, being a weekend Pines.
Yes.
Because it's really going to be weddings, or well, that's what we hope.
Smaller
anyways.
parties, like you think 25 to 50 people down there?
Oh, wow.
That's why I was thinking that maybe at some point here we need to break off the rental of the Pines between AM and PM. Because you
Yeah,
could rent it
I
all
agree with
AM,
you.
PM,
That's a
and then
great
have
idea.
something Friday night on the PM. You know what I mean? And just so, maybe just a different, I don't know. Maybe the AM rental is only from such and such an hour to such and such an hour. And then PM is from,
What are you
That's a good
thinking
idea.
for night, what are you thinking for nighttime, like?
I don't know, I'm
You
just,
don't have
how do
lights
you,
down there, so-
how do you rent that space out?
And it closes, what, 7?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's a, maybe there is no PM. Maybe there's just a weekend and weekday
Well, I mean, the
rental.
sun
Or
is
is
out
it
till,
9
Yeah.
to 3 and a 4 to 7 or something.
right, yeah,
That way you can
like a
have,
daytime birthday party.
yes,
And then
a
still in the
nighttime
evening,
picnic party or
picnic party,
whatever.
and the sun really stays out until like 8 and 8:30, right?
Mhm.
So they really could get till 8.
Yeah, but
Providing that we have a coverage there at the, I don't know
Yes,
when
it closes
the
at
Y
7.
kicks out.
But we could, well, someone's gonna get paid to stay late for 1 extra hour. What's the bigs to do that?
I think we're-
How often is that gonna happen?
I think we're going towards a town employee at
Yeah.
the property.
Yep, so if we had time, which one is
An
the Pines one?
afternoon town employee.
Somebody
kind
to,
of regular.
and maybe cover,
No.
there's so many options to do there
Well, that's in the middle.
that it's beyond the
Everyone
Y
is on that way.
So the chapel's
realm,
one,
you know,
yeah.
there's so many more rental
Pines that has the Pines
opportunities
that
there.
have two, and number 3 is towards the beach.
That works.
Does that work for you
works.
guys? Pines one is the chapel.
I think, Michelle, I think you were the one that said it when we went down there one time about just creating some sort of lawn to set up.
You just put wood chips there.
Chairs or-
Because that's natural from across the road, so it's just gonna put wood chips there. It's already not really grown up there.
I think you could
anyways.
do that
Chapel.
whole
Yeah, it's a, was
wedding
quite a nice
area
little area.
back 75 feet, so you could do whatever you wanted to do with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Lawn it so you could chairs,
mhm,
ceremony, photo. I don't know, I just,
little lines.
there's so much money there.
Pines
Weddings,
3
oh my
is.
Would the lawn have to be cared for? mowed. and-
Yeah, probably, but
fertilized.
probably wouldn't be as aggressive
We don't want
as
to fertilize, we don't want it to go
the water. Probably wouldn't be
Yeah.
aggressive as like, the field side that gets full sun all day. You're gonna be in an area that's faded. I mean, shaded big time, shaded big time, so.
So the chapel would be AM and PM rental.
Anyway, in the perfect world, you
We
could bang
put
out two weddings in one day.
mistake. I would keep it consistent.
Yeah, keep them
Yeah,
all that
all
way.
right.
Cool. Alright.
So we're saying 7 to 3 and then 4 to 7.
So, time.
It opens at 9, right?
Oh, it does.
I don't know now.
I think it opens at, Rusty, you know
Do you
it's
know when it
9,
opens?
right? I'm pretty sure.
Probably should know that, but
I'm pretty
I got
positive.
Somewhere.
gates unlocked, so it's open 24/7.
Yeah.
The gate was closed this morning.
Oh,
I noticed it.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, I've pulled in there
Right.
so many times recently. and it's
Me
just been back
too.
open.
it's nice.
Well, the cameras will cut down on anything crazy that's going on there anyway, so. So
And-
AM, PM rental, nobody knows the real time?
I'm pretty sure it's 9 to 7.
I'm looking at the
You know,
contract.
down there.
I want to say
7. Do you want me to put in parentheses a different time, like, you want to say 8 to 8? Potentially? Question mark?
That might work after my employees.
Right, I'll just put 8 to 8, like this is just for Pines rentals, so maybe someone could come in an hour early or stay an hour late if they agree to it, you know what I mean? And maybe if there's nothing booked out on Sunday, it's a week, I don't know, anywho. I'm just throwing out 8 to 8 ideas.
Yeah, that's
These are
totally-
just ideas.
Just gotta throw it out there and we'll
Now-
work with it.
For the parking for that, is that all, do they want everybody to park at the lower, across the street? Or can people park in the main
That's,
parking lot?
to think of the amount of people that all three of those pines can technically hold,
Right.
and that little parking lot's supposed to hold all that.
You have the one little parking lot down low.
They'll have to show up in buses.
It is 9 to 7.
It is 9 to 7? Okay, thank you, Karen, for confirming that. Yeah, I think that's another thing is parking.
Because there is no parking on the road.
Right, I know we talked about
This
that
is-
parking on the other side of the softball field. Isn't that pretty
Yeah.
open already?
Yeah.
But
It's pretty
there's
close.
About 20 cars-ish
if you're looking at the ball fields.
Yeah.
To,
from the road,
to which way?
the other gate,
To the-
other end.
Okay,
Almost
Wasn't that
across
pretty
from the
flat?
lake entrance.
There,
it's
It's,
really flat.
it's where you guys,
it's
brought the benches
so,
in that way,
it's so
because you
easy
couldn't
to
get away.
add so many spots right there. The
Picture of
potential
the
is,
sign over there.
What would need to be done to make it accommodate?
you'd have to throw some gravel in there. Just, it's, when you come up and in it, just,
But
it's,
just needs
it's
to be-
crazy, but
Oh, that little with the dumping of shavings in it, with the wood
yeah,
chips.
the wood chips,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
right.
Oh, okay.
And so, I mean, there's a ton of potential there. It's just, yeah, we'd have to work it a little bit. It's never been worked. It's
Right.
never, that was never
but there's not like a ton of trees and
No,
stuff that would need
it's-
to be done. It's relatively,
it was the laydown yard for the logging guys.
and it's kind of
It's-
already gravelly there anyways if they were doing logging, right?
Right.
Because otherwise everything
It's
was
got a
sun.
good entrance coming up into it. It's just,
Right,
we have
just
to
a
figure out
little
what to do with
maneuvering.
afterwards, yeah.
All right,
It's not a very high cost dirt,
project.
gravel.
So that's something that we potentially could get someone to give us a number. Could you find out a number of what it would cost for us to just someone as a, people's?
Yeah, I know a few people that we just, I mean, it doesn't matter.
Just
Just
these are ideas.
throwing gravel in there,
to
but-
present,
yeah.
just,
And then pushing it around.
just so we have an idea of what it would cost to do something. I have no idea. I'm
There's a-
not good with that. Good with houses, not good with driveways or parking.
what do you think?
It's pretty flat.
It's
I
not
don't
too
really think it
bad.
needs much there.
Need much.
It's not too bad. I mean, you could
Pile
really
of
park
chips.
as it is.
And then
How many?
there's a lot of junk in there, like
I think if you just
old
work,
benches and stuff.
you'd have to
that
just
need to come
organize
out.
it. Like
Yeah.
when the soccer club lined the upper field, the upper parking lot, sorry.
Yeah.
You doubled the parking. Right up.
Find it
Because people just
willy-nilly.
randomly park ridiculous. But if you give them lines to park at, you
So
double the
true.
parking, like
You are-
almost
you are
instantly.
right.
You
are
add a
right.
complete second middle row to it, it's
Yeah.
like, normally they go 1, 1, and 1, but if you line it, you can get 1, 2, and 1.
You could do like diagonal.
And so, yeah,
like how Cabela's does.
you just gotta give them direction.
Yeah.
And they'll park.
And you might not even have to line it, you could put like timbers, this is
Yeah.
a parking spot,
You could easily, yeah.
Timbers and road. And pray to God.
You could definitely get some parking in there for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean,
Just
just
thinking-
as it is, you can get parking in there.
that's good to know, because that would probably be easier.
Send the
like-
trucks up. You got
Yeah.
a truck, you're in the upper lot.
Yeah, well, exactly, that's just it, so it's like whatever works, so if that could provide the parking for a potential rental of Pines, like if offering to rent it out on the weekend. That would take up all the parking.
So do we have to figure out what
Oh.
the maximum capacity would be for each of
For
the
each
three
area.
sections?
Yeah,
And then,
I mean, I'm thinking like the chapel can't be more than 50 or 75.
I think it sounds like a
Pushing.
lot to me.
Just depends on how, do they do the wedding in Pines 1, reception in Pines 2
Well,
and
then they have to rent
3?
out the two.
Right, and I
So,
agree.
you
But
know?
I think if you did a nice lawn, you could put a ceremony for 100 on there and then almost force them to move over and rent the other 2 spaces.
Right, right.
I wonder if the chief should be involved in that. Does he have anything to do with outside?
Hmm.
I don't know
I'm
if he
sure.
does.
It might be just a
The chief?
A
Our
good-
chief?
box to check that the chief is
How
involved.
many?
Yeah,
I don't know how it works by doors.
Yeah.
it probably, I'm not sure if there's even,
Yeah, I've
is
never
there even a
heard of
rule?
a
I don't know,
outdoor
but
outdoors.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it might be
Fire
good
stuff's
just to
always
involve him just for the sake
Yeah.
of saying we involved him.
I mean, I think he wants to make sure he can have access to get in there, which he could, because the road comes in.
Yeah.
Right to the middle of all of them, plus the road comes in down to the beach, all the way to the beach, so there was access. I mean, it's a little skinnier access to the chapel. I know Missy was gonna look at old roads and maps and see if there was an old road that went into the chapels. Because if it pre-existed, she said that we could do it again, as long as it was already there, existing at some point. I don't know how,
As long as it's back the 100 feet.
yeah,
I don't know if there's any rules on that
I
anyways.
don't think there is either.
Right.
But
Or
it's
75
not
feet,
near the
whatever
water,
it
it's
is.
not near the water, right?
You're talking about fire chief?
Yeah, Matt, yeah.
Does he have to plan for it?
I don't think he
Evacuations.
needs to have anything to do with the outside, but I think it's a good courtesy.
Yeah, it's just a courtesy
Yeah.
to know, we let him know
So
we
when we
care.
were doing Kennebunk Pond, he did have to come out and make sure he could get emergency vehicles in and out. So I don't know if that would apply to that specific area or just the park in general.
Yeah,
I think he already knows he can, because otherwise they wouldn't be allowed to rent the ponds out.
I think his involvement is, I think, is a good courtesy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he'd wanna go walk it.
Mhm.
Because that way, if it's also does something with a safety thing, that's also something we can use. We have to do and it's safety.
Safety.
That's the
Safety
biggest thing is
rules.
safety, right? No getting hit in the head with anything, no lack of, you know. So, I don't know, do you want to touch base with the chief?
I'll touch base with the chief
See
for
if he
sure.
or his crew
Yep.
want to go down there, if anyone has
I'll touch base with the
kind
chief
of
for
whatever
sure.
more thoughts and have them walk.
I'm pretty sure as is, they can back a rescue
Yeah,
down that. trail.
Right down that
To
road.
the Brockport,
Oh,
right?
Yep.
down the main
yeah,
line.
I don't think they would be allowed to rent it out if they couldn't get it
Right.
down there. I think that was one of the reasons to have that trail in. So ballparking it from our memories, head count for chapel, what do you think?
Depends how far before the chapel towards the beach we go.
Well, there's
Right.
that skinny road, there's the skinny path that goes in and boom, there you
I
go.
mean, if you're
Oh,
just
yeah.
gonna do the chapel, 10?
I'm thinking
Yeah, there's not
20.
much room there.
I'm thinking, like I said, if Rusty said there is quite an open area.
Mm.
If you
walk
could
in
create
there,
yourself some
I think
sort
you
of
could easily get
lawn.
50 in there.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2025.
Yeah,
25.
really max. It's not opened up yet.
It'd be intimate.
Right.
Yeah.
2020, but a lot of people are doing that, you know, head count 2025.
It
Sorry,
is such a
Godspeed.
a
All right,
unique
so-
spot.
Middle
How the whole
Pines,
place is.
It is so cool.
Is that 100?
I'm thinking still 100.
Boy Scouts gave it to the town.
Is the Boy Scouts?
That's a lot of people.
Well, I think 100
It
max.
used to be Boy Scouts.
Was it
The Girl
75?
Scouts were over.
I know the Scouts are still there on
100?
one side.
25, 100.
That's cool.
Yeah. you think?
Yeah.
Isn't
That's
that what
cool.
they do now?
Back when I
But
was
that's the
growing up,
whole
it was Boy
thing.
Scouts.
No, it's just
Right?
this
No,
one,
it's
it's just
not
that
And the
just
one
girls
section.
were
the
over
one
at
that
Camp
all-
Cherry.
Same leg?
It seems like a
That's
lot of
cool, too.
people hung out.
Stories, I remember going to
Sounds like
camp.
the
The
back-
girls' camp was across the lake.
Yeah.
Well, you have people in the water, you have people on
Across
the
the
land, so
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of it is.
Yeah, it's kind of in the middle of the day.
Their thing.
Yeah,
There you go.
Okay.
and then the
So-
first one,
And then towards the main beach, I don't remember the size of that one. Do you want to try to find some photos or? Does anyone have a,
The first one,
yeah, the one nearest the beach, remember how big it
seems
is?
to me like it was a decent size.
it's just a huge, wide open, that was 1 and 2. It's a big spot. Do they both have water access? Now I can't
All of them
remember.
have
I think they do, yeah.
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 Except for
Have
the
their own
chapel
little
doesn't
slip.
have its own,
Right.
You'd
It's
have
got a
to-
rough one.
yeah.
It's
It's
just
got a- It has a lookout below and hang on tiny bit.
not a lot of brides that like to swim,
Um,
so we might be all set with that.
Okay, here's-
So people have weddings there?
No, but it is a
Oh,
home and
perfect
screaming
spot.
it when you walk down there and you see that chapel. It is screaming
I would
weddings.
never.
Yeah.
It needs.
Yes.
It needs
would
some
be
help,
nice.
but
And you put
Yeah.
It's
some
definitely-
lights up there, some solar lights hanging.
yeah,
It would be,
if
Very
someone came in
nice.
and, poofed it, put some
Wouldn't they have to
decorations.
Rent the whole Pines?
I would think you'd want to, because you'd want to do your ceremony here and your reception here.
Yeah, but
or-
we're just, are these all the aerials here? No, that was from one of our walkabouts. It's 2023,
Yeah, the aerials are in that subfolder, under maps.
on the maps, okay,
Yeah, the drone hit.
there we go. Because I'll just pull these up and see if we can find
There are
something
rules
that,
down there, like no alcohol, no kind of thing, no smoking.
this is up top.
I think they're town rules.
I think there are rules posted down there.
I don't know if I'll have
The
any.
Pines, it would
drone
have to
shots
be,
of the Pines, 'cause it's,
well, because we'd have to prove liquor
Right.
licenses
It's
and
evergreen
things if
year
we were
round.
gonna do things
yeah,
like
I
that.
don't know.
So that's down the road, no? That's not this year.
Yeah, I didn't get into the liquor license
I
thoughts and
thought of
all
it
the
earlier, but
reception
I
parts
thought,
of it. It
So
was just
this
like,
is-
oh, we could do weddings here for
So this is
sure.
our starting spot over here we're all talking about, right? Oh, sorry, let me shut the light down, over
Do you want me
here.
to shut the lights off?
Yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
shut off this one.
I'm getting
Yes.
Thanks, Rusty.
Night.
Because that's the one
This
you
is the
kept,
main
you and
road.
Ryan went through with benches, right?
So this is the.
That was the other end.
Yep.
So this is the area we're talking
This
about
is
the
looking
parking?
Yeah,
towards
That
the-
is a little deceiving. I think it
Towards
makes
the,
it look a little
main
bigger than
beach.
it is. It's really sloped coming
I
down
didn't
off
know
the
it was that
field.
big.
Oh, okay.
And then
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
it
bridge.
That's
slopes
the-
coming
the
down
second
off the field
bridge.
pretty hard. And
Yep.
it's pretty flat. And then it
So that's-
slopes down again pretty good to go to like the irrigation.
But just a little
pond
weed
and
work,
all
it
that.
should,
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, when you pull up and in here, it is pretty flat through here.
uh-huh.
It does die down pretty good through
Uh-huh.
here. But I mean, there's
But moving some
just
stuff around,
there's a ton of parking that's
yeah. So
that's
definitely
there.
would be,
With a little more work, there's a ton of parking there.
Yep. I'm going too fast, honey. Trying to look for, see if we can see the pine.
The peninsula is awesome.
Can you zoom in?
Yeah,
Oops, okay. You can zoom in.
Would that stone jetty be part of the chapel area?
It is, yeah.
Yep.
You could go out there on the
Yeah,
end
zoom
for
in also.
photos.
I mean, in the future, you
That's
could
the
string a
front-
bunch
that's
of like
the front
fairy lights,
That's the
solar
long end.
fairy lights,
that's
all the way up.
chapel
All the way out.
here.
Yeah.
It'd be a
into
Photo
the-
opportunity at the
Yeah.
end like you've never
So,
seen.
Because this is
Yep.
the, and this is like the main pines, what they call pines now.
Right, right.
So we want to go back this way. Pines two. Pines three. It's gonna be so fun remembering that.
That's
Oh, crap.
Michelle, can we number the
Let's
other
change
way?
them around, because I think we're gonna all get confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I-
didn't retype
The
that?
first
by the
one
beach.
is closer to
So
the
pines
two,
three
and
is
then
the
three is
chapel,
furthest
Yup.
away.
Yeah,
Yup.
turn it around.
two,
Two's the same. Yep.
there we go.
There we go.
Oh my God, so much work.
That was a good call.
All right,
That
that
was a good
was
call.
painful, people.
I was already thinking,
Um,
one,
maybe the pictures from the tour with Missy would have a view, because I know we were taking pictures of all the down crazy.
I have a bunch of my phone, but they're so close up of the trees, you can't really get the scope of the
Right.
1 and 2.
Kevin, which end is this? Is this the Boy Scouts end?
Yes.
Okay.
Looks so crazy with
Oh,
no
with no
leaves.
leaves, it's just not.
That's awesome
Great
view
pictures,
though.
though.
So from here,
So that beach one,
This is the main beach.
on the left would be the
On the
start
left is
of
going
Pines
through.
One.
is this a beach?
Yeah, that's the start of Pines One over there.
So that would be beach one or
Pines
pine
One, yep.
one?
Yeah.
And then 2, and then the chapel.
So if you look at Google Maps, it's kind of hard because it's tree covered.
Is this March?
But if this little jetty, that's the beginning of the chapter.
Do you wanna plug in,
Always
Karen?
go.
Oh,
Here you
Oh,
go. It's long.
Yeah,
right?
it's
I
right
don't know if I
there.
have one of these.
Yeah.
I thought you did.
No, that's what I didn't have. Oh, yeah, the other side.
I have plenty for you. Just gotta make it over that. There's the name. Let's see if I can find anything else in here too.
Oh, it's really hard to see.
One more light.
it can't hurt.
So if this is part of the chapel, this is the chapel.
This is, the
part.
chapel's in here, right?
Yeah, so then, oh, good, you can stand up there and be the pointer.
I have a laser pointer too, I left it in my other
So
bag.
what is this right here?
Volleyball?
Volleyball, okay. So this would be the first
Yep.
area, and then the second area would be here. So they almost look like, I don't know how they're divided up, but would they be somewhat? So this is the current, how far do you think it goes? What is this little thing here? And
I
that
think you're
little
close
thing
between the
there.
break right there.
Those are, I think, some of the little docks.
Yeah, those steps.
Yep, the
Oh,
steps.
where's that little bridge? Is that what that
The
is?
bridge is
Oh, yeah, it's way back, yep.
Oh, it's back here.
Yeah.
back here, yeah. Yeah, we'd be guessing.
You can't really, you see the beginning of the road, but you can't really see the road either.
No,
So
you
the road's
can't.
up there.
Yeah, this, I think he means the road coming into the pines.
It's like right in here.
Yep,
It looks
Yeah,
like
it's
it
gotta
would
be.
be. Is that in the center
And
of
then
that?
makes sense.
There's the,
Can you pan up to the Rock Road area, or wherever that parking lot is? There it is. It's the entrance.
Oh,
is
yeah.
right
Yeah,
there.
it's right there.
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
there's a crosswalk on the road.
Okay, yeah,
There it
yeah.
is.
so that road goes in, and then there's that little plank path to the volleyball
Yeah,
field.
there's a boardwalk across the small.
Yeah, and that's still okay after the storm.
Yeah, actually, you can see it.
Doesn't it go right to the volleyball field?
Looks
I
like
think
you
you're right.
can,
Yeah, the volleyball fields. up
yeah, I
there.
was just, yeah, yeah.
Is it helping us at all?
Yeah.
Too bad Google didn't take it when there's no leaves in the trees.
I know.
I know, they usually do it when there's not a tree cover, don't they?
Google's kind of varies. Every once in a while, they'll do it in the spring. A lot of times it's in the summer. This is also a lot of evergreen, so
I have
Doesn't
a,
matter.
I have our
That's
working
true.
map that
That's
we
all
have
those
here.
red pines, right?
Here, Karen, I have one that might help. This is from Kevin.
The peninsula looks
And
like
it's,
it's almost underwater in spots.
So Kevin, this is one you did that you gave us at the beginning.
Okay.
And this is kind of a good, oh,
Yeah.
does this help everyone a little better?
Yeah.
All right,
Chapel, yeah.
so kind of under death stairs. Sorry.
So is,
So where are you dividing the pine?
yeah,
so it
says the pines, so is
Road.
that's the road, so if you think from here, there's the bridge, so maybe it's really only this little section.
And it was kind of where it's the, what's it say? I can't read it because it's small.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think that is the Pines one.
From the
that
bridge
little
to
section.
there.
Yep.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's
So
really
maybe the
small.
middle section could be 100 and the other section could be 75.
Is there
I
even
think
a,
less than that looks
is
smaller
there
than
even a
the
big enough
chapel.
room for that
Really
little
go.
section?
The chapel's bigger than that.
You go down and mark it out
Yeah.
or something.
Maybe we just do 2 for rent.
Yeah, it looks like they have about a half a dozen picnic tables stacked up in that first section.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's, so there's, you can
Half a
easily do,
dozen, so that's how many people at a picnic
well,
table.
you could do, that's 6 to 8 per picnic table, little butts. Little biscuits, 8 people.
And people in the water.
That's what I'm thinking, you could do 75 there. 50 to 75 people. Well, you think about kids, I mean, kids are small. A lot of these are gonna be rentals with family stuff and whatnot.
Sure, a lot of them are the rec departments too, that are,
Right.
you know, just
Of the kids, the
kids
75
just
kids
there
are
for
in the
the day
water.
to come in and play and get out of there.
Yeah.
If you look at the blue wet areas, it looks like the place is a swamp.
I know,
But it
right
is.
now, it feels like a swamp right now.
It is a swamp.
Because the other thing, I was thinking about that too on the way here with the, like, the wetlands that we have, you know, on the main beach and coming down. You really are preventing anyone with a wheelchair or a walker even using it or getting down there or going to play with their kids on the equipment. If someone happened to be, broke their leg and they're in a wheelchair, they're not gonna be able to go and even just, you know, across that swampy area. It's pretty bad.
You know, aren't they using the road in by the horseshoe pits or through the horseshoe pits?
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways.
They'd come in there, but then you still can't really maneuver. Because you either have to go up that little hill, the top part, and then you're stuck up there. You can't make it to the swings in the jungle gym. And if it's that mushy.
No, I agree. So do you want to tentatively say 25 people in the chapel area, 100 in the middle, 75 in section 1? And then I'm happy to go down there tomorrow, because I haven't been down there yet. I
Did you
need
say
to get down
75
there.
for Pines Wood?
Yeah.
For now, we'll put 50 to 75.
And I
yeah.
can just double check the area?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, yeah, because I'll send these notes to everybody on the Pines Rentals. Now,
I wonder if, I hate to throw that in there, if Matt would have anything to add to that. If he knows that the Pines would, you were saying 50 to 75, it's like, oh no, I can put 100 in there all day.
he might.
I'm just,
I think it's good to know from him, like,
Yeah.
if we're doing our best to
I think
to
he's,
guess.
well,
If he
You'll
has,
have to ask him though.
he's a
Yeah.
wealth of information.
yeah. I'm sure he's been down there to rescue somebody through the years.
So should we just have a maximum head count? It's like
I
up to
think so.
25, up to 75?
Uh-huh,
It's not a minimum, so rather than 50 to 75, it would just be up to 75?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, good
I
call,
agree
good
with
call. Nice job.
Also, if the Pines one is just its own area, and let's say the others, oh, I guess if you wanted to swim, you would rent out the others, but there's no, if you only had the Pines, there's no, it doesn't look like there's any water. You can't get in the water from there.
From which one?
Is there, yeah, you
Yeah,
can
the
each
chapel?
them
Yep.
have.
Oh, not the
around
chapel.
It'd be a rough getting in.
Yep.
At the
Yeah,
chapel,
too.
there's not an easy
No.
access.
Yeah.
So
No.
this would make the Y. So you have a group of 150 come in. This would make the Y rent out both
Yes.
Pines 1 and 2 to handle it.
Yeah.
And so that's,
So what do we think, well, now that we're talking that, so what did we say was they're doing 250 for the day?
Yeah,
And that was just for one Pines. So I'm just gonna do pricing here.
it's basically 250 per person if you go up to 100. So if you do 75, it'd be up to 100.
Oh, I'm sorry, right now they're renting out 2. You can get 1 or 2.
Right
There's
now,
2
it's just
spots
one.
that they're
Yeah.
doing. They're just doing the whole thing, the
Yeah,
whole
just the whole
stretch.
entire stretch, full enchilada. But they don't, let me correct that. They rent out the Pines, but they don't consider that first section of Pines part of it.
Okay.
Did everyone kind of catch me on that?
Oh, right over.
So it's just the one that the road comes into?
Right.
That's the only one they consider the Pines. They don't consider the chapel part of it. They don't consider the first
Oh.
part of it. It's just
Okay.
that one section. That's it.
Section.
Section two.
Our section.
Yeah, our
too.
section two,
Right.
correct. Yeah, so that's the only thing that they rent out. That's it. I don't think anyone's ever, I mean, maybe people traverse down there, but I mean, even going down there, you can see not many people have been down there to the chapel or, you know.
Oh, right, not to the chapel,
No,
right?
not at all. I think people see it's so closed in. I think people are
It's
afraid to
just,
go down
there's
there.
no
They
use
think
for it
ends.
for
Right.
who they rent it to.
Right. Can't even get in the water.
Right, I mean, you're renting other
Well, again, if you're gonna
daycare
rent
or
it
whatever.
as an intimate,
day camps.
you know, wedding chapel, I mean, I think you could whitewash the beams, you could have.
Not with alcohol and
It's just another whole,
what goes along with weddings, you know.
yeah,
Well, if the.
Doesn't have to be a wedding, but
time, they'd
could be a
limited
business
to-
party, summer
Yeah.
party, family reunions. It could, but there's alcohol involved with all those.
Yeah.
So there's somehow we've got to figure out those rules, but.
Well, that's, I mean, some places just bring your own in and bring your own out, and they're signing a waiver, or they have to have insurance if they're having a party, you require them to have insurance. That's what you do.
And whatever it is that we have to figure out, that's
Because
what we
even when we
do.
got married on old land, I still had to have a policy to cover us because we were serving alcohol on the land. Or we were allowed to have it.
So it's always around.
Yeah, and of course, if you have a bartender come in, they're gonna have the insurance, they're gonna come in with their little wagon and
Yep.
they're also liable for over serving, so there's that. So there are ways that people can still have those things, but they're still limited, and again, they can't go past, what did we say, 8 o'clock at the latest during the summer? So, you know. It's things to think about, but it is doable and not, you know, not everybody's a massive kegger.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of times, again, you just would require insurance, or you have to have a bartender that's in a, you know, hire a bartender, require that type of thing if you're gonna allow that there. And if not, you don't allow it, then, you know.
What does the town need though? Because besides
Mm.
like the liquor license, there's liability involved with being by water and having alcohol.
Yeah.
That's,
I think it's just
Kind of
something
a
we need to
recipe
research.
for-
It's something we need to research,
Yeah.
and again, it just would be, like, because you have like.
Maybe it's not even worth it.
Right.
Maybe in the long run, it's not even
I
worth
don't
it,
know.
but
I have no idea.
I think seems like it's a cash cow, but
I mean, some people just want to keep it simple, get
Well,
married,
that was-
swim, have some fun, and.
make them all camping sites.
You know,
Or they do the chapel, they get married and then they go someplace else for the reception.
exactly, you know, it's still very private, it's very,
Oh, yeah, good point.
yeah, so it's still, it's a little treasure if it's done up right, really, it's really sweet, you know, so just even if you only rent it out for weddings, you still could do a
For the
lot.
ceremony.
Yeah,
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 it's a ceremony.
and there's lots of notaries in town.
Yes.
There's plenty of notaries in town that they can contact and have them go down and do the ceremony, you know? So,
When Missy said we could go in there and start taking out that honeysuckle.
Yep.
Was that, I emailed her and just haven't heard back from her yet. Was that, do you remember if that was something that we could just start doing on our own right
Yes.
away? Or was it part
it's
of the?
invasive, it goes.
But I thought she said we had to submit an invasive
That's what,
plan.
Did she?
I know she did, but I don't know whether that was for the honeysuckle or not.
What was the other thing that was
What do you
invasive
think,
down
Kevin?
there?
I think any kind of work within the 75-foot buffer has to
Along
go,
lines.
Yeah.
has to go to the DP one way or the other.
I mean, not all the honeysuckle was within the
Whether
75,
they
or some of
yeah.
it's further back.
Whether they respond or not is the other issue.
This is the EPA you're talking about?
Yeah.
Main
DP.
And if they don't respond, I think they have a week or 5 days to respond to you, and if
And
they
then
don't,
it's
then it's
free
kind
for
of,
all.
then it's go for it. Basically, yeah.
Do you think that area is clear enough now to just,
By the chapel.
just- it needs to be cleared?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We saw it when there was nothing there and
It's
things have
growing.
exploded since then. I
Okay.
can't imagine what that honeysuckle area looks like now. I bet you can't even get in there. Really?
This is what I have from your
Hmm.
notes.
I had wrote,
Identified large quantities of invasive honeysuckle in the area of the chapels. She suggested that it would be a good potential community project to
Yeah.
remove. A lot of it could be pulled. A more established plants can use cut stem application and dabbing cut with herbicide in the fall.
mhm. And then she said something about an invasive plan. You have to have somebody, I think it was only maybe if you wanted somebody to come in and treat the invasives with
Yes.
like,
Oh,
Research
yeah.
invasive plant management program from the
Herbicides.
Maine Forest Service.
and I believe
And that's
she's
if
the
we
one
wanted
that
to
does that.
contact, if we wanted to contact someone for invasive plant control. That's who we would contact.
It's her, I looked it up.
It's her?
Yeah.
I love her.
Well, it said any forester, but not any forester, but there's a list,
Of
but she's
ones that are-
on it, yeah, from Shapley.
Yeah.
And then there's others from, close by too, but.
Yeah.
I don't remember if she said we could just go in and.
I
start
think
cutting
outside
it
the
back.
buffer area, you can
Yeah.
go to town, so.
Right.
Yeah, I think she
Areas
said we
further back,
just
you
grab
can
it, and
clear
even
out,
she
yeah.
said, limbing up to 10 feet high if you're gonna get whacked in the head and.
Yeah.
Cause there was some that were like our level and there's the poker
Yeah,
way out and
it's,
stuff.
you can trim up so far within.
Yeah, up to 10
Yeah.
feet up the, up the
A third.
trees.
A third,
A
yeah,
third up.
is what it says.
A third.
Yeah, it is a
Alright.
third,
So
because
if
I know
it's a
you,
30-foot
I know
tree,
you could
can
go
trim up
higher
to
than 10.
Yeah.
I was like, I never
Trust
heard
me,
the
my
10 foot
property
rule.
is all a third.
She ordered, a ruler,
Come on, tree, grow, so I can cut a little bit more.
Sharon, you're awesome.
You know the rules, isn't it?
There are all kinds of weird rules, like a tree that's overhanging that the roots are exposed into the water. I think that's an instant come down.
Yeah.
There are a lot of weird little,
And
things
it
that do.
depends on your perspective though, because I was all over that. If it hangs over the water and it's
Yeah.
not providing ground coverage, that can come down. But Missy was like, oh, but that provides
It's
a
a
nice
nice
shade for
shade.
the
Yeah.
environment. And she's thinking environmental and I'm thinking attractive to
Yeah,
payers. Right.
someone told me it has something to do with, if the roots are exposed to the tree that's hanging out into the water, then that's acceptable, but
You know, you have to keep the roots there.
you would need
gotta keep
somebody
the
to
roots there.
bless everything.
Because
Yeah.
that's what holds the soil, the shoreline.
Mhm. Yeah.
So what are you thinking, like, of pricing? There's thought processes. This is just stabbing at the dark right now. So Pines 1 up to 75 people, Pines 2 up to 100 people.
I almost think you have to keep it the same. I mean, only
But
because
the chapel is,
maybe the chapel, maybe you could go different, but Pines 1 and 2 could be rented by the same group. So can you give a
So
different
It's a
price for
smaller
2 than
area,
1?
though.
but are we doing half, are we doing AM and PM rental, setting time now? So,
I keep it simple for now.
so just 250 and 200?
The third pine is
Yeah, the third Pines
smaller.
might be
But it's gonna be very.
Doesn't matter
it's
how
gonna
many
be a
people.
Niche environment where it's gonna be pretty. People pay for pretty
Eventually, but for now,
right now.
250, 250, 150? Do I hear?
is it $250 a day or $250 a person?
Well, if it were $2.50
$2.50
a
for
person,
up to 75
people, it'd be like $187, $190. So you could do
Yeah.
200, 250, and 150.
So 200, okay,
250,
200,
150.
250,
Yeah,
and 150. Everyone feels okay about that? Just as thought processes? All right, and that will basically, you kind of hold it there until we actually figure out how many people can actually fit in a section, and make it work. And then maybe a pretty ribbon or a pretty sign, like the Pines one.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
there should be, yeah.
Pines two for
Yeah,
each
we
side.
could be
Shows
creative
something
about that.
pretty like that, or a rock, a nice rock or something.
like an arrow, pines.
Mm-hmm. So we can find something natural,
So they
something
know.
pretty, something that kind of shows,
Yeah.
the sections.
So what would it take to implement this? We've got the parking issue.
Well, I
Capacity,
think if-
we need to confirm.
Once town meeting happens, which is in a few more weeks,
Right.
if we are allotted the $20,000, that's,
For this committee,
there's somebody walking,
yeah, there's somebody out there.
They've been, they parked and been riding bikes.
no, they're walking behind the building.
Yeah, yellow shirt.
Is there a trail?
I don't know if that.
The
much.
library that way.
There's no trail that way.
No.
It'd be funny if he stuck his face in your
So
face.
I think if Rusty could find out how much it would cost to fix that parking, to get parking.
Oh, in the upper lot, yep.
Yeah, there wasn't that a ton of money.
Yeah, the 2,500 is for this committee to do stuff.
We have $20,000 potentially if the town votes it in at town meeting.
Ready for that? Are we?
We have
Oh
the
my
Oh, no,
God, we
she's
could-
funding us the money.
We could spend that in a second.
Non-lapsing account.
Oh,
Yeah.
A second.
We're
I
not,
mean, we're not gonna be ready in a few weeks.
no, this has already been the budget process where we don't know if we're being, like, the townspeople could say no, and they could say, we're only gonna give you $5,000. We don't have control over what's voted in at the town, so we go and vote for the 20,000. Very important to make a town meetings.
But I think that if this is not, if it doesn't cost a lot of money to prepare that lot for parking, and it's just some cleanup that we can do in the chapel area.
Yeah.
Then this is not going to cost money, it's gonna make money.
Yes, and that's something that we pull off in the next month.
So I think we should go with this. To the
parking
select board and make a, you have to make a motion to make a thing to the select.
Yeah, this is where someone would make a motion, we'd have a second, and we'd vote on it to make a recommendation to the board and commit that. And the next month, we would do, when Chris, we have to find out what we get for funding. And, as far as the parking, that's the biggest thing. I mean, right now, technically, there would be enough parking up top at the top lot. And then they'd have to park at the ball field and just room. And then there's a tiny parking lot down below that's usable. So right now, there technically would be sort of kind of enough parking. I don't think you're gonna rent.
Well,
all-
there's room for parking too over where that structure used to be where the
Yes.
poison ivy is.
Yes, Yeah.
Right? Is that
Yeah.
used for anything?
No.
That area?
it's just swamp.
I know that the Y uses that lower parking lot during the day.
Who
The
does?
grassy one?
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So, I mean, it could be an issue if we had a Pines rental in
But
there
that's not part of
outside of the Y.
Oh, yeah.
But that's on them, not us.
Right.
Does this 20,000 include the paying the Y?
No.
No, this is
Porta
separate.
potties? and-
No,
No,
this
this
is for our committee.
Oh,
To try to pull
improvements.
improvement
Okay.
on the park. It's a non-lapsing account, so we won't, like, if we don't spend it, it just stays in the account. It's not gonna go back into the budget, so it's there, so we're not like tied to this do or die, we have to use it by this date, which
Right.
does happen with certain committees, you have to use it or you lose it.
Some grants are
Um,
like that.
Yep, same thing. So, and that's the other thing too, is we wanna look at the grants, but until we have a survey, until we have money to do a survey, which those are very expensive, because you need what was it? A certain kind of survey, it's expensive.
Topographical.
Yeah, to be able to get a, like a landscape architect to do the whole deal, we really need a big survey done right now. We don't have finances for that. But this would start making money. Hopefully we can start fundraising, planning projects to fundraise.
Does Lyman have,
That's not me.
It's not me either.
oh, what's me?
You look just as surprised as we were.
I'm not on call.
So,
That's major.
yeah, I mean, if you want to make a motion, Karen, you can.
Okay, so that motion
Does
is
Lyman have a rec director?
to make a recommendation to the select board
Technically, Holly.
that
Yeah.
we separate
she's
the
the-
pines into
she's the
three
guru.
distinct areas. And we rent those areas out based on the schedule,
Okay.
providing parking on the side of the ball field.
Mm-hmm. Both of them. I think we need to, both
Yes.
those parking lots, the ball field
Yeah.
side and the lower grass lot.
By potentially creating the second parking
Yeah,
lot.
expanding parking.
Uh-huh. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, if we're open for discussion, anybody?
Can you had said earlier, right now, it still falls under the Y. At what point,
does?
like the Pines rentals, so at what point does that transfer over?
Well, the thing with the and this is their last year, they're supposed to go into negotiations, but I mean, I think that we could easily, I think the town could say to them that we're renting out 1 and 3. If they want to continue to control number 2,
Or maybe they.
or maybe they say, knock yourself out, do
Has
yourself.
anybody talked to them about?
They know-
Having the town take it over?
They know this committee.
I think that when we go to renegotiate with them, I think that's when we'll end up taking it over. I think we need some software, some program here to be able to keep track of it, to be able to say who's there and who's not there, just to figure out what's going on with it.
And, I'm sorry, not
But-
only for, not only for that, but if we were gonna schedule volleyball leagues as. well,
Right,
we would
right,
need something
right. It
like
needs
that.
to be some sort of easy online that they can just
Scheduler.
plug in and put their credit card number in right there and
Is there-
be done.
If I remember correctly, when I was looking stuff up,
Lindsay was working on that eventually.
they have a calendar here, and I'm pretty sure, and this is Parks and Rec of Berwick.
Because I asked her if she could come up with something like that.
And this
Yeah,
is
there's
where
something
you
for-
could, and I think on here you could request, there's also somewhere on here requested, puts it on the calendar, but you can see their calendar of what's booked. This is their whole town thing, but there was a place in one of them, and I don't know if it was Berwick, South Berwick, or Saco, where you actually could book your event for the space you wanted online, because you could tell, and you could pay right there, because Jeanette now has that program, so we'll be able to do that. So at least an online payment thing set up, that's great, it's done.
I think there's a bunch of software, Bean might even know.
Yeah, that's what I was
Brendan
thinking.
might know, but-
Because I know I volunteer for a group and we do all of our online, we do all the scheduling online.
What did you Google that had salt and pepper come up first?
Who knows, Rusty? I'm probably gonna be working court, no one wants to know my Rusty's game. I cannot remember who, but like something was in there. Anyways, that's not.
Yeah, I think that's where we're heading now.
Yeah, so definitely the program. So anyways, I have a first and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Or do, Holly?
You had suggested that we perhaps talk to Matt about it. Do we want to do that before?
Well, I think that no matter
Maybe
what.
contingent on
Contingent.
having the fire chief give his okay.
So would you like to?
Oh, we're
And
talking two Matts
confirming
now.
capacity
Right.
numbers.
You talking the other
You're
Matt?
talking-
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I was talking
Oh,
about
Matt the
Matt.
Y.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
Is
he
that what
would
you
be the
meant?
one to
I
say
think that's
70.
Drew Ross.
Oh, okay.
Matt Willett would be the one to be like Pines 175. No way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He'd be the one to be able to
Right.
tell you.
I mean, I think even just walking down there, we're gonna be able to tell ourselves
Oh,
if
yeah.
we're bonkers.
Yeah.
So, but he was talking to Fire Chief Matt for like making sure.
Yeah.
Both of them.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
well,
what
Yeah,
I was
I think
thinking,
both of them.
Willett.
Who's the other one?
Matt will let the Y guy that runs the Y section.
He's
Yeah,
worked
so-
there since he was.
Yeah.
Anybody knows that place, it's Matt.
So the current rental fee for the Pines is $250 per day up to 100, 300 a day for 101 to 200, and 350 per day for 201 to 250. So that's a maximum
lot
of
of people.
250 in that entire area.
Which is
So
probably
we're
only one
within
and
that.
two.
We're within that
We're
zone.
within that
But they're
number.
probably not even counting the chapel.
Right.
It's a ton
Yeah.
of people, so
It
we're
is
not
a
far
ton.
off. We are pretty accurate in our numbers then. We might be able to move them up to say
Yeah.
150 and 100, and maybe we'll split chapel, so I can't.
I agree with you. I
Yeah.
think you could go 150 and 100. If they're taking 250 for the whole area,
What do you think?
that would give you 250 for
All right,
Between
so
the two.
100
up to
and
150.
150.
All right. Okay, and the
That's-
chapel
Same
still
down
might
the
be room
bottom.
for something different.
And we may find that could hold 50 people or 10.
Right,
There's a
yeah.
lot of potential in the chapel area if we can clear out a lot of.
There's a
Right,
lot.
Correct, there is,
Including the
but
stone jetty area, there's
there might be
areas
room to
for
get water
room for picnic
access.
tables and other
Yeah.
things.
Yep.
Or cast a
I
fishing
agree.
line if someone wanted to have a kids fishing party out there. Yeah,
Right now, it's the only rental that has coverage that you can put a
Exactly.
table inside.
You know, Missy
So-
also had suggested having somebody come take a look. Oh, this is one of the questions I had. Is Lindsay working with a forester
yes,
to evaluate?
yes.
She hooked up with a forester.
Yes.
Can that person come and check those red pines?
Already
And,
did.
and tell, nice, because
Already
we
on it.
could thin, we can
There's a
thin
plan in
those,
place, I
right?
don't know when he's doing it, but
Okay.
there is a plan in place to thin the red pines, they knew it was an issue, it was brought to his attention.
Because
you
you
can
can
do that
fit
too.
picnic tables within those if you take out,
Exactly.
Enough. Sid Emery was gorgeous like that. When they had all that red pine stand, but they were thin enough where they had picnic tables dispersed in there.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, no, I think that was part of the plan with the
Yeah.
forester, with the harvesting that's gonna happen.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
so Karen's motion contingent on Matt and Nat. And our $20,000.
I'm looking at the numbers here though, and they're not adding up to me, because if they could fit up to 250 in just the middle pines, we have up to 150, should we expand that?
But that's where I think Matt would come in. Would he be, were the two, was he using both the pines for
Oh,
that group?
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. I would think he was using that whole area for a big
Okay.
group.
So
Yeah.
then my other observation,
And I think that's why we need Matt. I'd like to hear.
yeah, the other observation is if you're getting 250
Right.
in pines 1 and 2, we're gonna charge 450, which is $100 more than what's currently being charged. Are we okay with that? Because right now it's 350 for up to 250 people, not 450.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't think it's ridiculous, not to see what things cost these days to rent.
I'm okay with it
Space.
too, I just wanted to
I
point
think
it out.
it's totally reasonable.
Does anybody know of any places similar to this, like locally that you can rent out for a little?
Over in Standish, there's one, I gotta think of the name of it. In Leamington, you can rent theirs out too,
You can.
I think so. The one in Standish, I know you can, I just can't. And
Stand.
there's a place up in, near St. Joe's, Dundee Park. You can rent out and reserve, I think, part of their,
Where is that?
Dundee Park is in, I think it's in Wyndham.
Wyndham. I just looked
Right?
at that. Yeah, I
Dundee
think
Park,
that.
'cause I used to buy a pass there. And they have a playground, and they have outdoor bathrooms, and they have
Yes.
concessions.
Yes, I
and
just looked at that
very
today.
tiny. It's a cute little place. The beach is nicely done. And
Okay.
their picnic benches are really nice and scattered.
I wonder what these
Maybe
places
we
are
could pick
charging.
their brains.
Yeah, yeah, they've been there forever. That's privately.
So there's
owned.
a bunch of them.
Yeah,
State parks with picnic areas to reserve, $150 Bradbury Mountain, Camden Hills, 150, Damariscotta Lake, 100.
What do they give you numbers? What they hold?
No, I probably wrote
See
the into
some
each one.
Local ones. I called Wyndham Parks and Rec today to ask about their They have, it looked like, I just Googled volleyball courts, outdoor volleyball courts, and it looks like they have a couple of really nice ones. So I called and she sent me some info and I forwarded it to you guys, but
Yeah, I saw that.
so Dundee is the same thing, that they
It
rent
looks
out to rec
sweet.
programs, because I went there once and they had like all these kids that from far away there. They had a whole section, bazillion kids in the water.
Oh,
sorry.
was that $6?
They're good size, but it's way more open than Bunganut
Is
is.
on a lake or a pond.
Yep.
They open till 7 o'clock. I see 8 o'clock.
Right.
Adults, can you back up just like a couple inches? What does we got here? Adults, $5. $3 for kids. So we're,
But our residents pay nothing.
right?
And that isn't, and I hate to even say this out there, but is that something we want to consider where residents pay $2?
Oh, you,
Oh, that
Probably
will
everyone
go over well
lose
at
their
all.
minds.
and as we're trying to get money in a
Well, no,
budget,
I
I
don't
think
know
it's
of
a
any other town that they, unless it's just, well, where it's being maintained and things are being paid for, I don't think,
I think in
No.
a few years, maybe.
yeah.
I don't think you could
It's
do it
just-
right now, not asking for
Not
them to
asking for
pay
money,
for it
Right.
and then to now pay
Right.
again to
But-
come and see it.
But the thing is though, when you hear me out, you have,
Yep,
what percentage of the town uses the park? Uses the beach, uses it, can take their dog there. Oh, no, they can't do that.
We don't have that.
And then you have maybe 10% of the population that use it, but 90% is paying for it, too.
Mhm.
But it's no different than people who have to pay taxes for school, but they don't have kids in school. There's people that are still having to pay their taxes towards Bunganut, and it's a hefty sum. This is not a tiny park by any means. And when you actually start, you have no idea how many people have to say, I didn't know we had a park in Lyman. I didn't know I could go there. Where is it? There are so many people that don't even know. They think Barker's Pond is the park. There's so many people that don't even know Bunganut exists.
So last year, 662 residents used the beach area, 893 non-residents. It's a pretty good portion.
662,
So if you had,
It's a pretty good amount.
If you had 600 residents,
Fifth.
$2.
sixth of the town.
You would probably have too
I think
many
if they
people
want to
that
rent
have
the
to
pines,
pay.
they have to pay, but not an
Yes,
admission
not-
fee.
Yeah. I mean, maybe down the road, though, Lexi, I don't know of any other.
I
towns
think
that do it.
if
Get a
we-
town sticker,
If we brought this thing up,
right, like your dog
then
sticker.
I think there's the
Season pass.
opportunity to,
It would be
oh,
also
season
something to do a
pass.
survey, would people want to do that, $5 for a season pass? Something, just, because I think the
That's
age
where,
have,
that's where the corporate sponsorship comes in.
Yeah.
It would be, we can get businesses to pay for basically people to use the park.
Yeah.
With sponsorships and like the banners and around the field, things like that,
Donations.
to
Yeah,
help offset
yeah,
an actual admission fee.
yeah, I would not be a proponent for charging residents.
I went by I think it was Baldwin. I'm not sure what town I was on. I was on the way to, I don't even know where I was going. Papoose Pond, Waterford. I was going to Waterford this weekend and I went through Baldwin and they had a ball field that had all the banners were identical matching. They were all the same colors, didn't matter who your company was, but they were peppered all around the, and it looked good. It just looked like the town was involved. It really looked good. It looked good. And it was
Oh, I
all,
know
like I
what
said,
you're talking about.
color coordinated. It went in with their theme. It was cool.
Main road that we're good visibility. Rock Road is mentioned.
I see, that's where you get that corporate sponsor.
Yeah, yeah,
I see.
exactly.
They get their name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
so
be
there's
good.
reservation.
Hmm.
I don't know if it would have.
Private group.
This is for Dundee. I don't know if we're gonna have the pricing on here or not.
It did say it. It was highlighted, $60.
Sorry.
Oh,
$60
deposit.
deposit, $3 per person. Look, first 20 people are paid with deposit, so it's $3 a person after that. So really, we're actually under what they would charge. Still higher than Atlanta.
So they have 3 something there.
Yeah,
So that,
I gave them names instead of 1, 2, 3. That's what we should do.
yeah,
Oh, like Rotary Park. I've never actually hung out down there. I've taken a kayak down, but the water.
In
You don't
Sanford?
have to, but a bit of
That's
fun.
a
Bedford.
sponsor, too.
They have a swim area and everything,
Who does?
right? Rotary?
so we're really not far off on pricing with what we did, because if you did 150 people at $3 a head, like minus it kind of equals out to what they're charging, so I don't think we're off the mark at all on that.
Do you think the Y would be willing to take over the rental of the 3 areas and at this point?
I think we
But
could
they
make
did it
them,
anyway.
I feel like they would.
I think we could
Yeah.
make them do that.
It's
It's
just
part
one-
of the
it's
park.
just part of the
That's
park.
part of your duties.
Yeah, and that's just it.
It's
It's
just
not,
outlined in the.
But I mean, they never,
there's.
they just didn't push it.
Yeah.
There was no pushing renting it.
Is
So
that
we're now
because
saying there's three
they have
sections
enough
defined.
Parks and Rec
Yes.
kids coming in?
Right. I think
There
she's
definitely
trying to
could have been
come up
more,
with
but
more
they
stuff.
didn't, it's,
It could be a contest.
they are in charge
I'm
of
working on
keeping
it, so
track
they
of
should
it, renting
have
it, but they're
one.
not in charge of advertising for it and promoting it. And they do promote, I've seen it on their
Gotcha.
sign in Sanford, they promote
Yep.
Bunganut Park.
Right.
But it's
But
not their
just
job
it.
to promote the pines, they just are in charge of taking
Right.
reservations and dealing with it.
Okay.
Right.
And so I think that falls really on us to push the
To
pines.
say, hey, we've decided the Pines is three sections. We're putting their whatever markers to show where they are. This is what we're thinking per area and rent it, so.
I think it's in their contract, I'm not 100% sure, but we can change prices at any point and therefore just forced to
Yes,
go with it.
Yes.
So
Yeah, they don't have
I
a,
think it's
Yeah.
right in our,
yeah, it
right
is in
in
the
our
contract to
avenue.
do this.
No,
so-
the Y will not deviate from the approved fee structure. It's right in their contract.
because we did it
And the
we
fee
changed them
structure will
last
be
year.
as follows, and it's spelled
Well,
out
then
in
they
their
have to do two
contract.
fifty per section.
They did though, didn't they?
Yeah, we did it last
They
year.
did
Yeah.
deviate, they did
Yeah.
deviate.
Well, there you go.
I don't know.
So,
They did
precedence
what
is
last
It's worth an ask.
I think
I don't
that
think it's
they
a ridiculous ask, it's
gave
just three little
different
sections,
rates.
they're not gonna
I'm
be
not
picked out.
positive. I have to look at the record, but I think
But this gives us as a committee some, I mean, even the chapel as it is, a little sprucing, you just get the underneath it cleaned out, would be lovely, and then we can deal with the leaking. The beams, probably just a little sanding and some linseed oil or whitewashing,
In the chapel,
yeah.
I think there's a couple that need to be replaced.
They're questionable.
Oh,
Yeah, the front two, when you looked at it, looked pretty.
Well, I
are they
think
dangerous?
it's just,
No,
no, no,
no,
but
no,
it's just
they're,
the ends that are punky. I think if you cut them just so, maybe put something pretty on the end, they'd be fine. It's not into the meat of it,
it's a,
because I did poke them.
Missy suggested we have a timber framer come evaluate it for structural integrity. Do you know anybody who does that?
whether I could get them here or not, I don't know, but I have done a few timber frame homes.
Oh, you have?
I have,
Oh,
I have.
Oh, Mike does.
I'm doing
I
one
didn't
right
know
now,
that.
actually.
Mike does that stuff, but I don't think he'd be. able to
I asked
do it.
Gary Milliard.
I might call him just to see what he says. He might come down just for the fun of it. His mom lives in Berwick, so.
All right, so good job on that, guys. Do we feel like we haven't taken a vote, so does everyone feel at rest with Karen's motion down to the whole Nat and parking, right? And contingent on the 20,000 homes. All in favor?
I think so.
Hannah,
Yeah.
all right. So Kevin, do you sort of kind of have that motion sort of kind of?
Yeah.
Yes. Or do you want
I
me
don't
to try to
think I
type
can
something?
re-say it.
Well, so Karen, it was make this,
Recommendation to the select board that we split the pines into 3 distinct areas that we rent out according to the fee schedule proposed, contingent upon the fire chief
wait 1 second.
approving a plan, getting input from the Y on maximum capacity, and parking accommodation, expanded parking alongside the ball field.
So glad that's not me.
I don't think we need the 20,000 for this. I think it would be awesome if we could go to that
So,
town meeting and say, we're already bringing revenue in through the pines.
So, that good? This though?
Right, because what would the cost be
Just the
Gravel.
parking lot, yeah.
Well, I think you just need someone to deal with this tiny skidder or a backhoe and some gravel dumped and.
And then clear
On the
out.
Again,
parking-
I'm not even sure that I'd
Right.
have to go take a really good look around the edges. It was,
To see if we even need it.
I mean, it might just be Vicky there for a half hour with her tractor.
Do you think like 5,000-ish could do it?
I could bring my
Oh,
tractor down.
I would think so. Oh my gosh. Depending on what we want to do
Yeah,
to it.
Machinery?
I can't have that, machinery, gravel,
Like $200 an hour. to rent those out to-
I hate to dilute that 20,000. I'd rather see that go towards landscape architect and surveys.
I know there's a bunch of junk. You come into the parking lot and off to the left, there's a pile of junk there that needs to be removed for sure. There's like old benches.
If Vicky hasn't done the grills yet, maybe, and she's already gonna be paying to dispose of, maybe she'd be willing to haul that, she has a tractor to grab it.
Where are you talking about? What
When-
road?
That lot next to the softball field that we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Across
you
from
come
the
in
pines.
and it's kind of, a lot of it's all overgrown because it's been there for a while. That's where I dumped the benches that I just took out.
You
Oh,
probably use the wood chips to smooth out that parking lot.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah. it's-
there's a huge pile.
Yeah, because if it's already pretty
Well-
packed down from,
You can use those down at the water too.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't get plowed, so they don't have to be concerned about.
no,
Right, yeah.
I would say too, like, when you drive into that though, you might need a little something there. For sure, if you're coming from, the soccer fields and you come in and it's quite a,
Mhm.
oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
we
yeah.
need to take,
I remember walking.
I'll take a look at it too.
yeah. I don't
And
know.
then maybe even the gates.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess they would stay there, huh? The gate.
Well, we got gates, but we want them all
I
unlocked, so.
know, yeah, I know. A lot of people are just gonna run them over. So you guys so back to the agenda, so everyone feels like accomplished on the Pines rental, we're good? Leave the.
One suggestion maybe on advertising them.
Mhm.
If we could put a poster together on an easel at the town meeting, just to let people know what's available for rental there. Just
Yeah.
pictures of it
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Good idea.
When's the next select board meeting?
Even if
Monday.
all three aren't
Next Monday.
approved yet, at least let them know that something's available to rent.
Oh, right.
That's it.
yeah.
Because a lot of people just don't know about it,
Yeah.
because Y doesn't advertise where.
You can really just copy what they have, right, from their site.
Yeah.
Maybe
Um,
next year we do the town meeting down there.
Is it necessary that all the no parking signs are lined right
Yeah.
there?
They did it
On the
because it was
road?
between
Yeah.
our fences, because people will park in between the no parking signs. And they were gonna put
It's the
boulders
kids
there.
crossing the road, darting out in front of a car.
Yeah.
With someone coming screaming by. I think that's why the no parking
Yeah.
was there to begin with, but.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think that was the reasoning I heard originally.
That was what I heard too. And that even if you gave them enough room to park, they would park between the no parking signs. So.
Mhm.
that
What
was-
are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
I just, when the gate is closed and
That's why we should.
in the springtime and in the fall, when the gate is, I guess it's the gate issue is the root cause, but well, that's not true. You can park in that tiny little lot
Yeah.
to the right of the
Uh-huh.
soccer field, but oftentimes
Oh,
I
yeah,
just pull
way
over
up.
and park there if I want to go zoom in down to
That's
the
why they need to
water
be
or
open.
up the other way. Yeah, it's crazy all right there, just both sides. And then there's it's a bunch of no trespassing signs too on the grassy parking area. It's gated,
Oh, down low.
and
Yeah.
then
Haven't seen
I don't
those.
know where those came
I
from.
don't know what was going on. I think they had issues with people dumping stuff in through there, so that's why they put those there.
Oh, that's a major problem. I know it's unrelated to what we're talking about now, but I noted somebody's been burning stuff in that little dirt lot to the right of the soccer fields. I think some of that had been
First.
picked up maybe like a mattress, somebody dumped
gosh.
mattress there, and somebody I think burned some tires. You go in and you see it's all
Yeah.
black.
Holy cow.
And then there's a new one on the side of the road, a mattress frame, and it looks like they might have lit that one on fire too. And then there are these big jars full of who knows what. They're about this big and they're nasty. Looks like somebody just chucked bags of them out the window
Oh,
on the Bunganut side. It's
probably
grody.
want to let town know so she can have someone
Yeah, she has something.
pick it up, take care of it.
This is the area
Just
that's
let
not
Lindsay know.
needed.
If you come out of the soccer field parking lot and you take a left, it's like immediately on your right. There's a mattress down there, and again,
I thought I saw something
it
like
looks
that
like
on the
they
side.
burnt it.
Maybe she can get cameras. I know she's investing in more cameras out there, so there's cameras going in all over, so eventually there'll be enough to catch whoever's being the ding dong. You
It's
know,
a trend
And that's why
Yeah.
the,
because it's the
we
second
had
one
people
now
last year
with
that
something
pulled in,
lit.
you know my road?
Because they have to pay to take it to
They
the dump.
pulled in and they
Why
dumped
light
a
it on
toilet.
fire?
They dumped a toilet, an old toilet. They dumped old patio furniture and some other metal stuff. They just pulled it broad daylight, pulled in the top of the driveway, dumped everything out right there for us. Stacked nice and neat on the side,
Yeah.
but then we had to dispose of it.
Mm.
We've had a mattress dumped on the road. We've had twice. We've
how
had
do you
tires.
think of that?
I know.
How do you be like, you know what?
And
I'm just gonna
we're-
put it in her yard, let her take care of it.
So, but I think, because, we put cameras up too, so it's like, we're just done. But I think that's what you have to, I know she's already doing that now down there, so. Hopefully that will.
Beach.
I think
Keep
in all
forgetting
different
to
places.
email her, but I'll let her know.
So I'll make that recommendation to the select board for, I have to get this into her by Thursday, so I'll do that and CC you guys tomorrow. So she can get that in her packet. And that way I can present it. I will not have time, maybe this weekend I will, to get down and take pictures of the pines and print them to put them on a poster. I don't know if I'll have time to do that. If anyone does get down there and takes pictures or anything, then I can even show the select board what we're thinking, or like if we know how we think it could be marked out, to give them an idea.
I can see what I can figure out tomorrow.
Yeah. If you do,
It's
yeah, if you have
it's not
time.
gonna be looking pretty yet, I
No,
don't think, so
no.
I don't think that's what we wanna put on a poster, we can post
Right.
Use surveyors tape or something.
old photos and.
Yep.
Put something together.
So, Rusty, I know you've been working on the 10-year plan. How's that
I've got an
going?
outline going, just of kind of our wishes.
Mm-hmm.
And all the 10-year plans I've been along with are kind of overlaid onto a site plan.
Okay.
So I don't know if we're gonna move forward with a survey, I think that would be perfect to kind of take our outline objects and kind of figure out where they could go on that property and kind of make that the 10-year plan.
Mm.
But I got a decent outline going. I've just been going through all of our notes, what our hit
So
lists
kinda
are,
like
what we
this
want.
Here that we all did at the beginning, and we all took this and thought processed it, that type of thing.
That's the basis of my outline, all my different little wishes and plans. I think a survey to know where things can go logistically. Oh, your playground is too low, you gotta move it over here because it's higher. Volleyball won't work here, basketball will work better over here.
You know
So
what, it may actually save time in the long run if you don't plot it out and say, here are the activities that we want, and then do the survey and say, where does it make sense to
where can they
put
go?
these?
Yes, yeah.
Which at the plans, at that
And
point,
that'd be quicker to get that,
Hmm.
the list done versus mapping it.
or a landscape architect's gonna go, okay, they're gonna have the survey and then go, oh, this, there, and there. Someone else is doing it.
Because I know we've talked about better lake access, to be able to drive in, drop off spots, go someplace to park, how does all that look? And that, however that looks, might determine where the playground can go, because this is where this has to go. This is where the ticket booth has to go.
Yeah.
This is where, like when you go into the Pines, maybe it should split. Pines 3, Pines 2, Pines 1, the road,
the
So
road
that,
and
you
provide
know what I
more
mean, I
parking
just,
down, like diagonal parking down there. It's
it's just, yeah, so much revolves on what's possible down there.
Right,
On
And
what we can stick in there.
we see what we know. You'd get somebody from the outside and they look at it from a totally different perspective.
Yep.
yeah, because we still have the water catch basins we talked about, and Kevin was kind of mapping, like, to go down the
Ah,
trail that need to help divert some of the water down there.
get rid of a lot of them.
And we all know there's no amount of drainage you put in that's gonna take care of the swamp. It needs to have something serious in there. You know, but I don't feel like that's a Bunganut committee problem. That's pre-existing, that's a big problem.
I think it's how do we work around it? I think that's our,
Mm.
that's up to us and how we work around that. How can we make the best of what we got with that?
Right, that, the town wants to figure out what to do with it, and we just work around it with the pines, the field stuff, the trails. Speaking of trails,
Mm.
any word?
Nope.
Still no word beyond, we're pretty sure.
We're just waiting for people.
And that would, how would that land, because this is a parking lot up here, so is this where the trail, where would their trails come in to meet everything? Your map's in here, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember where we put it? Boy Scout, not that one, right?
No. Not merged. Are there different folders within the
Yeah.
Bunganut folder?
On the
Bunganut
map?
maps, probably. Mm-hmm.
You know what you named it? Here, I'll just go through what's in here, and hopefully we'll find it.
It's a PowerPoint.
It's PowerPoint?
Yep.
Let me close this one up. Should-
So, you know that they
Oh,
didn't
here,
have.
this is you, right?
And, no, that is not the right one.
It has your name on it.
Oh, yeah, that looks like mine.
Just waiting for it to load in.
I don't think that the Boy Scouts even knew exactly where, like, the trail head should be.
That's a good point, though.
We,
We want it near some parking.
we jived on what trails should be. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just all the markers that, there we go. So,
Okay.
mm,
Mhm.
yeah. That yellow line in is to the Boy Scout
Okay,
hut, the Boy Scout camp.
so that's what they're,
So those are all like existing, they were existing trails.
okay,
That blue one was way
Dark
back.
blue?
Yep. That one all the way around, it's almost like around the perimeter there.
uh-huh,
You know, you can see remnants of old markers.
yeah,
And then they flagged that red one, there's orange flagging tape somebody
Oh,
had
nice.
put there.
Yeah.
And then again, the yellow is the dirt road in, and it'll take you all the way down to the amphitheater.
uh-huh,
And then there's like remnants of those red X's, there's remnants of blazes along the stream there.
okay.
So Missy had mentioned perhaps having one dump out at the gate that goes into Sid Emery and moving her gate back and creating more parking there.
Uh-huh.
So maybe that could be the trailhead. I don't know.
Where is that?
Um,
Can we
Point
zoom
that
in?
out, Michelle.
Good.
P1.
Yeah, it's up by P1.
I just slice the, I love that. P1, up
I
here,
need to go.
You were in
yeah.
a different,
I need to go.
on a different one now?
slide.
Can't see.
This one?
Yeah,
Shut that
maybe it
light
was.
off.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the
Right.
one. I can see the view.
Here.
Yeah.
Why
You wanna make it
see if
bigger?
they want-
So Pete,
across the
this
street.
is, the parking lot is someplace over
Oh.
here.
That's the little dirt lot next,
Yep, next to the soccer parking lot.
Yep. See where these dotted lines are way up here?
Yep,
That's the entrance into Sid Emery.
Over here.
And there's a gate, yep.
Sit in.
It's the Waterboro Experimental Forest.
stupid question, what is Sid Emery?
It's the Waterboro Experimental Forest.
Yes.
Trails,
No,
the trails over there.
Experimental
Yeah, it's a
Forest
big
was
spot.
town property.
It's all
And
over.
then-
Was donated?
It was donated to York County Soil Conservation Committee.
So it's
They-
their conservation committee runs it.
They run it.
It's
Even
like-
goes
it's
into
like
the
a
high
100-acre
school.
parcel.
Goes right in.
Oh.
The town
And they've got
parcel.
trails out there that need to be revamped too.
Because theirs is big.
So, and I don't know, without knowing what the status of that little dirt lot is,
Right,
next to the ball fields.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth putting it, I don't wanna put a trailhead there if we don't know what's going on. with
right,
that lot.
until that's figured out with them. So work on the other stuff until.
What about on the Williams Road side?
Yeah, that was a possibility
Over
too,
here.
because there's a,
Kevin marked one on his.
Yes, that's
He
the
found
old,
the spot.
it's an old shooting range from the Boy Scout camp.
Okay,
It's overgrown, but they use that as, when they logged all the town parcel.
down here, up here.
way up here, there's a tiny, this is town property right here.
Over here?
Yep, that's town
Good thing you're
property.
tall.
I have
Yeah.
a pointer in the car.
There's a
I'll bring
little
it.
pond right there, a fire
And
pond or
there's a little
something.
pond,
There's a little pond,
And
yeah.
there's a tiny little dirt lot, would be right up here,
Up here.
tiny, for like 4 cars.
What about across the street though? I mean, there's still a mile of acreage across the street. Are we doing trails over there?
Where's that?
On the ball field side?
Or parking?
Oh,
I'm just thinking trail wise, I mean, there's just a boatload of property up there.
it's a really skinny.
It's an odd one.
But in York County, or the Sid Emery Forest has some decent trails over there
Yeah.
that just need a
That you
little
could hook
love
up to?
too. So if you could come off right
Yeah.
here and connect,
And hook up to theirs.
it would really, actually, I think I dumped that in here too, and mapped their trails.
Want me to go further?
And I might have added it to the end of this one. No, that's just like all the junk that needs to be removed. Any more at the end there? No? No.
No.
But there's quite a bit over there. If you could connect the two, that would be,
Right.
I could hike for quite a
I
while.
think.
I think I wrote the mileage on just the Bunganut side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So
this
that-
is the one we were looking at when we were looking
6
at,
miles.
um,
Oh, that's cool.
the other stuff and for, she was talking about for parking and whatnot. Is this what we're talking about?
Yeah, you zoom way in, right next to that pond on Williams, see that little tiny square of
here?
dirt?
Oh, yeah.
Over here?
Yeah.
So here and there, right?
That's
That's
that
the
little dirt
parking,
lot.
yeah.
That's the parking lot and that's the pond,
The puddle.
right?
Yep.
In there. So they can
Blueberry Hill Road?
Way further down.
That's where they-
Oh, it's
that's
out
where they
front.
go, yeah, okay. So is that kind of making sense to everybody's? And Kevin, what was this over here, the orange?
That was the log laydown area when they logged the forest. So it's kind of overgrown now, but it's a flat area that we were looking at potential parking areas.
So it could be a parking area for even hikers if you could go to the blue
Yeah, right now there's concrete barriers right
Yep.
along the
trail. That wouldn't be a bad idea either.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's close enough to the blue trail that would give some good parking there too. I mean, one thing is a thought process maybe to keep in the back of the minds too, where, one of the biggest things we saw in the surveys, both even for me as comp plan and here, is people want to be able to bring their dogs on these
Yeah.
walks. I was thinking maybe we could have it like leeches to hours.
After hours?
Before hours or after hours, people can bring their dogs on leash only and walk the trails with them, like allow certain hours where someone can bring their dog.
Like the beaches have, right?
Yeah,
Or-
and I was thinking, just putting it in the minds here so that, you know, when we are presenting this in the, you know, wanting to do funds to do this, part of it is, you know, people between these hours and these hours can bring their dog.
I
To
think the
walk
beaches
on
should be
leash.
that way, but the trails, people, they should be loud dogs.
Yeah, I do too, but you're probably gonna have,
Cause like all the trails I go on are dogs are loud.
right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take
On
my dog.
leash.
On leash,
On
on
leash,
leash, on leash,
in-house.
on leash.
Yeah, definitely make sure it's on leash and
You always have that 10%.
you always have some that just
Yeah.
don't. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's so, like I said, there's so much potential with this. So, but again, you guys are just waiting to hear from the Boy Scouts.
Yeah,
Do they need help from us? Do you know what the,
No, no, they're waiting for Boy Scout Council.
I think they're close though, right?
yeah, I was hoping they would have that had approved. Colin had to create a proposal. I think it was pretty extensive.
Which
for
he did,
legal
I'm pretty sure.
And then submit it to the board, the Boy Scout,
Council or
Council,
something.
yeah.
Council.
And they have
That's
to
what we're
approve
waiting
it.
on, I believe.
So,
All right, so I think that was all I had for the agenda. I'll clean up thoughts. I'm just leaving that as an action item because there's always gonna be cleanup. I mean, for kicks and giggles, does anyone want, I mean, I know school and I have baseball every Saturday. I don't know. After school gets out, if we wanna kind of try to plan a day to pull things, honeysuckle, and maybe we can look into that between now and next meeting.
yeah, I'm
if we
sure
can
I'll
pull
hear
it.
from her soon. Get an answer on that.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, do we want, I mean, the other thing too is, it seems far away, but it's not, let's pick a date in the fall when we're gonna do a cleanup, actually, literally pick a date.
For the honeysuckle?
No, for the park,
After.
Bunganut Park cleanup, like,
End of the year cleanup.
yeah, and really going to town on the area we're going to choose, like have community cleanup day down there. This is we didn't do one this winter, or we'll wait till next spring. Just thoughts.
For cleanup? That's,
how
seems
about,
like a springtime thing.
How about-
oh, man, I didn't want to be the jerk that said that, but I just feel like it should be a spring, not
It was
fall.
ending, I mean, there was a lot of garbage in the woods when we.
I would
I'm
hope
just afraid
that.
that we clean up in the fall, and then the winter will,
Well, yeah, it's probably
things will come
another-
down again, we'll have to do
That
it
was
again in the
bad.
spring.
That was bad. That's terrible.
In theory,
yeah,
the Y should do the
Yeah, I
cleanup
was
in the
just gonna
fall.
say- yeah.
Sorry.
Well, let's hold it.
Yeah. So is there anything else we want to talk about or address before?
I think once we find out after the town meeting, then
That's
we'll really know where we're
We
going.
know, and then if there's anything we can, I will make that recommendation of our thoughts for the pines for this year, because that automatically starts making money. Yay.
I just.
I mean, I would be looking for a yes, no, because I'm pushy. But from the select board, I would want to know, yes, we can do it, we can move forward, or, you know, are there concerns that come back to us from the select board?
I don't think there's anything like financially that we're asking them to commit by saying yes.
Right,
Because
right.
we're gonna be tying ribbons and probably volunteering our time to clean up the chapel area a wee bit, right? So we're not fiscally looking for money, we're asking for permission.
Yeah.
And then
Start generating revenue.
start generating revenue if they say yes. So I can make that ask, we say we're not asking for financing of any kind, we're asking, can we mark them off? So it's clear, and can we clean up the chapel area a little bit?
And move the line.
Good, I can make that ask.
How about researching some of the steps that Missy has suggested for down in the Pines area? Because those look pretty ghetto.
I did, in the meetings that I needed steps into the water,
Yeah.
I did give that to the select board. I did tell them that
Oh,
was an
great.
issue. And I told them
Okay.
that you know, some of it's pretty sus and it's just gonna continue to get worse if they don't put some ingress steps into the water.
Okay.
I did address that with them. I
They'll
will
do
address
that.
it again.
I think they might need to be some sort of custom aluminum thing, because it's
One of them is wood down there.
They're all in
they're
unique
kind of like
spots.
wood. I don't want to say they're pallets. It looks like a pallet.
EPA,
The little
That-
involved in that?
Yeah.
I don't think for a dock. I think
Oh,
it's
does that
more
not?
the code
Oh,
enforcement
that's
officer giving us permission to
Do
do
we
it.
have one?
We do.
Code enforcement officer?
Yes, we do.
Oh, we do?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
She's in
I've already
training.
asked, she's not gonna have time to help us with any waterfront things. I've
Yeah.
already
Oh,
asked
she's in the
that.
weeds. Yeah.
She's in the weeds up to her.
She's
weeds and
learning.
weeds and more.
New?
She's new and
Yeah.
she's also up to her ears in backlog.
I
So
bet.
Yeah.
This year is not a potential.
She's
to get her
picking up
here.
the job.
I did ask for that, but, so we will respect that and do the best we can.
Look like that right now. They're kind of.
So I will
Oh.
talk about the steps going in the water, especially where we want to rent it down the pines if there's any way. For safety reasons, could the town address that?
Yeah. And there's a, like a nice aluminum stuff going down.
What
at
fun
the
is
main
that
beach.
gonna come
We
out
just
of?
had a little mini,
Yeah.
just a couple.
Not my
They
problem.
might
Yeah.
have custom made.
Yep, so I'll ask though, and just because do you know how many we would need? That's the only question I don't remember.
I think there's, one of them is metal, right? And there's one
The
that's
big one
wood,
is
and at the
metal.
chapel, there's
The
nothing.
main one.
The main one's metal, the rest of them are wood. And I
The
think
main
there's-
one being at the beach.
Yeah,
The
I
big
think-
one.
Was
Oh,
there
I think
not the
there was
metal
a metal
ones?
one in the first section.
Yeah, it was-
No, it's
Okay.
like that. Remember the, I don't know if you
Oh.
can see it.
There's one like
Remember
that, remember
And I
that?
don't know
Oh,
what
I
the
do
other-
remember.
And there's one that's
Oh,
wood and it's steps.
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
from
one
this
that's
one.
wood steps,
Oh,
The main
yeah.
section.
okay.
but maybe we could have some,
I
yeah,
don't
into the
remember.
water.
It's
Okay.
not horrible,
Remember that?
but
Yeah.
Is that one the wooden
it could
steps,
be
Kevin?
better.
Yeah, it's, this is
Yeah,
like
that
the main
one.
section.
First is, I think, but there was one that was, is that the same one?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought there was another one that
that's
was
a
wooden
main
steps
section.
further down.
I
There's
don't
a,
think
I
so.
thought there was something over in
Yeah.
Pines one. that
Yeah,
was
there
covered.
is, there is something over there, I thought.
I just don't know. I don't have pictures of that.
Right.
Gosh.
Anyways, they looked like they were temporary.
They need work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no matter what, we need some work.
No, I was known for
Um,
using pallets.
Yeah.
They used pallets for a while.
There's also an eyesore down there where there may have been a platform for pork potties.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
something, and that thing looks really sketchy.
I did bring that to the town, the select board's attention as well.
I just feel like if we're gonna charge and rent it, and maybe.
I think that
a
was
little-
removed.
Where is it?
The punky boards that were down low where the porta potties were on.
That be, okay, between the chapel and Park Road on, as you,
Yes, the first Pines one.
Yeah, it did looks
I
like
think it's
something was there at
Pines
one
Pines
point.
Two,
Yeah, it's
Pines
right.
right
two.
near the road, right on the
main
corner
road.
of where the road comes in.
Yep.
To the
Yeah.
pines.
There was two pieces of, I think it's,
Is the road
Right.
coming in, it's that mess.
oh, yeah. Is that where the outhouses go?
yeah. There's
Right.
first
They're
two.
not
Oh,
on
that
it
looks like
now.
Crappy chapel.
Right, I don't
I
think,
don't think
yeah,
it's safe.
chapel. This is-
No.
This is the first time we went
No.
down there.
It
so
almost
this is-
looks like there's some, that you would expect to see a pit under it, but there's
Right
nothing
here.
right there. Yeah,
I can,
Is it just a wooden platform?
yeah, it's where
That
they're
can
putting
be
the porta
ripped up?
potties on, yeah, it can be hauled away. I'll download that and I'll attach that to
Vicky's to-do list.
the to-do list.
It's getting pretty expensive.
yeah.
And
Sorry, Vic.
then I think I have pictures of, I'll try to look through tomorrow when I have time of because I had some ingresses into the water that are, some have nothing. Then I have the ones with the steps and I have the metal ones too. Oops. Oh, no, I lost my spot. Crap, I hate when that happens. So we're waiting on here again. This is Parkside.
Can delete those ones of the old ticket
You
booth,
gotta have to have the old memories, right?
There are a lot of
the
girls
old
down there.
nightmares.
So this is one of the ingresses that's like, so there's that one step there and it's all kind of, there's no steps in there, but people go in there. pictures of the metal ones then. What I did. That's the caca. And then this is again where people just kind of walk in. There's that one.
Yeah.
I thought there was another wooden one. There's one that people use that again. There's nothing in there, but it's pretty big. And I was just explaining to the select board how all it is it's causing more erosion and more erosion every time it's not an in and out area for people to be able to get on.
You
know.
can see, it's interesting, when she had her Google Maps up and there was no, you couldn't see
Oh, here's
much,
the-
but when I pull up the map on my app, you can, and it is, I thought Kevin had some aerials that showed the same thing, but you can see those sandy you can see
Yeah,
all the
washing
points
out.
where people, I think it's just where people are getting in and out, because it's clean. You
Yeah.
can see the sands.
Sand
Yep.
is,
I don't know that it's eroding in. I think it's just, you can tell exactly where people are coming in and out, because it's nice and clean.
Back in the day, it was sandy. Years
Oh,
ago.
no doubt, it's all, if you just move those leaves aside, it's sandy in there,
But
it's
the beach
nice.
was sandy. There was more beach than
Oh,
anywhere.
yeah,
Like back in the 20-something years ago, it was sandy down there. There was more sand. So,
Well, the sand's still there, it's
sorry,
just washed out.
personal.
Right.
Football. Yeah. So I know it's definitely, you can kind of see it like here, like you're saying like that. The lighter colored,
Mhm.
where people are coming in. Here.
Can I digress to a different topic?
Yes, you can, ma'am. We're on to other.
For the field use, is that like set now, is that activity already started up and the leagues made their donations and all of that is done?
I think that we agreed that we wouldn't do
We're not
anything
charging.
until the fall. I
Correct.
think the
What?
fall was when we were gonna start
Charging.
reworking things because we were we were right on baseball season when we were talking about raising it. We didn't think it was fair to them. And same thing with soccer, with spring soccer. We didn't think it was fair to dump it onto them, give them an advance notice that in the fall we were going to start changing things.
Did you give
So-
them the advance notice?
I think, yeah, I think they've all
Are they
been, yeah,
prepared?
yeah,
But
they've all
haven't
been.
They
set a
all know.
schedule yet, though, right, a fee schedule?
I
So-
don't know where
It
that's
was-
at. I know we talked about
We did.
doing numbers, yeah.
Yeah, we did. It was $250 for the homeschool and was it 1,000 for the, do you remember?
I think it was more because I think we were
Yeah.
doing 1,000 right now as it was,
Yes,
the
maybe it
soccer
was
club.
1,500. don't
I did
remember.
see it was,
I don't
I don't think
remember.
that's enough. So did you
But they're all non-profits. We want to make sure that the kids can use the field.
Yeah, I
Bring it
know.
up.
But if you charged $15 an hour for the field, it would only be for the soccer club, it would be $11 per kid for the whole season. That's not much.
I know we talked about,
They
right,
can do some fundraising too.
well, they do.
Yeah.
What we're
Yeah,
charging
you're
doesn't
right.
even cover porta potties.
I think we figured it out right now with what they were donating. They were already charging like $5 to $6 bucks a kid as it was already. So it wouldn't be hard to tweak it a little bit to get it more closer where we need it.
The town of Lyman's charging them.
The clubs that use the field donate money. And so we're kind of just counting that as a rental fee and dividing it up, and it's coming out to like $5, $6 bucks a kid.
I see.
So we're committed to that
Suggested
schedule, that
donation.
was,
I think we're committed to it for right now because I forget what you call the homeschool kids, what that system's called, Smash.
Smash.
Smash is already into their season.
and
And
what are they paying?
baseball, I don't know if they even pay anything, to be honest with you. Smash is kind of a newer,
I don't think they pay.
It's only
they're gonna
been
pay next time.
yeah, it's only been a couple of years that
Yeah.
this is new to the town.
I think it's baby steps. I think, we're heading in the right
But
direction.
they know it's coming.
They know it's coming, and I think this, stay steady and let them get through a year or two of that, and then if it has to increase again to, and find the ways for, hopefully gonna find some grants along the way to support some of these projects, because there are grants even for sports
facilities.
Mhm.
And that we wouldn't really need a survey for. That's something that, like for instance, you looked into, volleyball with towns. Find out how much a town that's put in basketball courts or pickleball, how much it's cost them. Those are things that we can do that don't require a survey or don't require
Right.
big acts of God to get them done or do them or, things like that. I know the baseball league was talking about fixing that tag board here, because I don't even know if we're gonna be able to use Burner next year. I highly doubt it.
I haven't heard otherwise.
Well, it's also fiscally what he's charging them. I don't think they can do that.
I don't know that he's charging them anything.
I do. Yeah. So,
And then there's parking issues over there too,
and
right?
trash right now.
Yeah.
So, and I know they were given many warnings and it's still not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So I don't,
In order to, you were saying there's grants, and there's grants available, like if, I think a lot of the tennis courts around and so forth were done using grants. But do we need to, before we pursue any of that, like the volleyball court, for example, do we need to wait for the 10-year plan to make sure we're not putting it
Putting
in
it someplace we
somewhere where
don't
you-
want to put it. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I was thinking that same thing. We can bang all
I
those
went
things
back
out
and I
right
was
now.
looking at some old notes, and Emily had suggested, what if you put parking where the volleyball courts are now? And that
it makes sense. to do
makes
that.
sense, but then where would we put the volleyball courts? So I'd
I think
love
it's
to get those
looking-
courts going, but I don't know that it makes sense to do it now.
Well, I think finding out how much it would cost to put them in the shape it needs to be, where they are currently existing, it's easily turned into a parking lot. Could it work for a year or two there before the final plan is to put it somewhere else? If
Yeah,
it's only like $1,000 to $2,000 to turn it into what we need for a few years, that can generate the income to actually pay for itself and more, I don't even think it's gonna cost that much. Because of what, you need one more, you have to buy the nets no matter what,
I
right?
have one net that is going there because it was bought, the wrong one was bought for the school.
Right.
It was an outdoor one.
So, lucky.
So, it is here,
Yay.
waiting.
So is,
but if it's not like a regulation size, wasn't regulation size, so nobody's gonna pay to
Right, it
use it
needs
if
to
it's
be
not.
Right.
size.
Can-
I think it was not so, it was the length,
What if we just make it one regulation size?
and there's nothing wrong with that too.
Or wait, we'd have to move those poles down.
No, she said the poles were fine where they were, it wasn't the
But for the
poles,
direction that
it
they're
was the direction.
going in, you'd have to change them if you were changing the direction of the
If you're
board.
just making it one
Or if you're just making one volleyball court completely.
regulation size, yeah.
Yep. That still is an easy fix, that's still a very minimal cost move to generate money. And more, it would make more than what it would cost to change it. I think, the hard part, like with 10-year plans, looking at top-up, the maps that Kevin gave us that show the hills and dales and, because it's very glaciary, deposity, all over. So it's a lot,
So we have parking for volleyball competing with parking for Pines.
potentially. Their games are like boom, boom, boom and done. You know what I mean? It's well, then they're gonna compete with parking for summer
Everything.
sports too.
Yeah.
And
Soccer,
baseball,
baseball.
soccer, baseball.
Yeah, I think we need a plan.
Mm,
I really do.
just to direct us so we can pick away.
Uh-huh. And then look for grants, because again, that's the one thing that we're really gonna need is grants.
but we need the plan first and we need the survey first. But the survey, I know is gonna be quite a bit from the stuff that I think one survey was like 27,000 to do. But that's where the harvesting is hopefully gonna fund.
Is that from the guy who did the survey for Kimball Pond, do you know?
No,
Because
He
Dave
wasn't-
Main suggested tapping into him. He's getting close to retiring. But he didn't think he would charge that much. I
Do you
find
have
out
his
who it
name?
was.
I'm sure.
Lindsay, I know she reached out to someone who did the first one.
Yeah.
And they weren't doing
Yeah.
it.
That's a
Yeah.
email.
Well, I have two questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, first of all, we didn't talk about the buffers on the main beach side where the pine trees were removed.
Oh, I already brought them to the select board. They have that information that they need to replace at some point.
So this word
This is-
insufficient
Where,
says waterfront beach area in the sea referred to the vegetative buffer as insignificant. Or insufficient, I second insufficient. So the select board are gonna take care of that?
when they can, it's a work, more damage happened, so that's the problem, is even more, they know it needs to be replaced, and it's on the radar to do it, I don't know when they're gonna do it, but that's something that they're allocated to do, not us. We just tell, it's hard to, to do the differentiations, but that's pre-existing to the community being formed. So that damage, when everything came down, we're giving them suggestions of what can be done and what we know can be planted there to help. But that's up to them to get that plan implemented, with town funds, not funding that fund.
Oh, wow, oh, yeah.
So that's where the differentiation is.
Talking to the EPA or the
DP,
DP.
Yep.
Because I went through replacing trees that I had to have cut down. And it's pretty,
yeah, no, we
Specific.
worked with, the forester, and she also has she works with DEP all the time, she's from Waterboro, Missy.
well, that's
Brant.
Missy?
Yep,
This
Missy Bray, Missy Bray.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright.
So she has all the credentials to do
Good.
this, so she gave us we could do blueberry bushes and direct people into certain paths, and so many trees have to, but I don't even know, the exact amount, I'm not sure, but the select board is aware. I turned these in last time to them, so the select board has these notes. Yep, so this was just notes we took as we walked around, and Missy was talking and we're writing.
Oh.
So this is nothing she gave talk to anybody, it's just we walked and took notes. Kevin and Holly took notes as we walked, and there was a lot of info downloaded.
The other question is, so is it the YMCA or the YW?
YMCA,
YMCA. Oh, their contract is up next year?
October or
this October.
November.
Yeah.
this October, so this would be the year where they start negotiating with them.
Is there any thought of revamping that whole setup?
That's up to
What
the
do you mean
select
by
board.
setup?
Hmm?
What do you
The
mean by
contract?
setup?
Well, the way I understand it, the town pays them to run the beach.
Mhm. Collect the money at the gate,
I hope so.
and they have their
They have their programs.
program. Yep. So it's the select board will be sitting down and having workshops with Y and figuring where they go from here.
What are you thinking? What are your thoughts
Well,
when you say revamp?
how about if the town pays somebody to run it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're eventually gonna go that
Or
direction
eventually
eventually,
have a
but
rec director that directs it. I'm just brainstorming, but
I think
Yeah,
there's a
that
lot of
could be a
benefit
full-time
that the
one.
Y brings to managing that. It's a lot of work, so I think there's a win-win in there somewhere. I just think that we shouldn't be paying them my opinion, we shouldn't be paying them so much money.
was it 41,000?
To me, it's 40,000, and to me, when I crunched the numbers, it seemed to me like the town could pay for one gate attendant and pay them $15,000 a year, and let them just manage. the
Because
rest of it,
that's a
'cause they're taking
volunteer
income
or a
by- They're
nonprofit.
making a ton of money by running their camp, so
Yeah,
the rest of it, I think,
It's
should
something-
just be,
yeah, a little inequitable.
yeah.
There's
and
gonna
take
be,
care of that for the town in return for what they make on their campers.
Yeah.
and there's gonna
Right.
be, workshops, I'm sure.
There'll
that
definitely be workshops for them.
The select board's gonna be doing, so it's something you can attend. You know, there'll be workshops and you can listen to the meetings and hear the thought processes. You know, you can always email the board and,
There has to be a happy
Express.
medium in there somewhere.
express your
Right.
thoughts.
I mean,
Well, I
they're
think
they're
there
making
is-
40 grand off us plus making boat off of the kids that are going
Kids
there.
that are there.
But you know, for a good negotiation, they have to come to the table and be open with us. You know?
Yep.
Yep, it's been a work in
Because
progress
I'm
for
sure it's
sure.
costing them for their staff. It's,
I'm,
you know,
they've got to know something's, they've got to feel the buzz going around that there's a committee on there. There's a lot of feedback on it. They've got to know that
Well-
this change is coming.
And this isn't meant to hurt anyone's feelings, but it's really run down, and it's been run down, and it's being managed for how many years? I mean, I'm sorry, but the mansion is like.
But in
30
fairness to them, the select board or the town has never given them any rules.
Right, and that's
It's
what I
always
mean, though,
just
there's,
been,
they,
Thank you.
nothing was being reported that windows were broken, nothing was being reported that people were breaking
Right.
in, nothing was being
There
reported
was
that lights
no-
were being left on. There was no protocol, there is now.
right.
So it's just been a steady till now to the, you know, it's pretty rotted, the mansion, it's pretty rough shape. You know, it really is, it's a shame. It would have been nice to slap some coat on and paint on it and save it for the rock that's there, but I don't know what you can do now. You know, so it definitely is just protocol in place now, and now it's where do you go from here? How do you, when you know better, you do better. How do we do better by the tax people's monies? And still, how hopefully how do I provide the service there to campers? Because it's great for the kids, it is great.
Absolutely.
There's
What
no
would
doubt,
that place,
but
what
there
would
has
that
to
place
a
be like
better-
during the week if they weren't there? It'd be a ghost town.
Dead zone.
I mean,
Yeah.
It would be a ghost town.
Yeah, there has to be a meeting of the minds in the middle now for best way forward. We all know that it's not working anymore the way it has been working. Life has changed, things have changed.
Yeah, we can't keep losing that much money.
Yeah, when you know better, you do better. You gotta try to find some way to cut the hemorrhage. You know, without, oh, we gotta repair this. Oh, you know, 50,000 trees went down, so, you know, it's like, instead of the same thing over and over, maybe there's a plan in place that a forester comes through for trees that are dead and takes them down before they fall. You know, things like that. They can actually have a maintenance program in place for the trails when they happen, so it's not
Yeah.
in 5 years, look, they're all overgrown again, let's find a Boy Scout to do a project.
Yeah.
And hope for the best, like, saying, we're gonna need funds, because we're gonna maybe in conjunction with the snowmobilers, the ATVs, they have the equipment. You want a rental for your clubhouse, how about you maintain the trails? There has to be some kind of working give and take in this town, because right now we keep collecting sawdust on the way down to the bottom. You know, there's lots of ways to, just thinking outside the box and finding a way to stop hemorrhage. Totally agreed. You know, lots of ideas, and again, it's do the ideas and then maintaining them, so there's still gonna be money there, but can we make money off what we're instituting? You know?
Yes. And I know we talked about this a little bit before, but remind me. So if you go in on to the select board meeting on Monday and propose that, and they say, yep, go for it, how do we begin advertising for that?
With Pines,
Yeah.
I
We
think
just-
that we would have to just put something together that we could email that the Y could use,
Okay.
showing
Little flyer.
pictures. And I
Okay.
think we would be in charge of doing that, so I need some photos, or I'd have to go take photos, and I have like programs for doing artsy fartsy stuff.
It's kind of going on the town website, like.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
As long as I did it
Yeah.
up, and he had said, Lindsay, could you please put this on the town website, could you put it on town Facebook? You know, maybe part of our funds, we could put it in the reporter for $100 and put it in the local reporter with
It's
pictures.
gotta be, there's a website of
Yeah,
wedding facilities in
Oh, yeah.
Maine
People ask all
or
the
whatever,
time.
you know,
Yeah.
you could,
What about a sign on South Waterboro Road? Like at the end of Park Road? There's, I don't know if there's any town land there, you could put a sign up indicating that it's down there.
there's lots of awesome things like this. They have the easel here, having something, don't forget, Bunganut has the pines to rent for your next family function. Right here in Bunganut Pond, you know, there's put an easel out here, people coming to do their business. You know.
You know, I just had that,
Graduation parties.
I just had that, I don't know where it is now, but that Main State picnic areas for rent, and Bunganut's not on it. Why don't we get Bunganut on there?
Yeah, we can. There's something that, and that's just where the work goes in. Someone tackles this area, someone tackles that area, someone looks for wedding things that we can put it on once we have the chapel done up nicely. You know, the biggest thing is also make sure poison ivy mitigation happens. Has anyone seen anything down there?
I should go, I'll take a look back down by the chapel.
I didn't
because-
see any.
Oh, I'll look as well, yeah.
I hadn't looked last time we went.
Yeah.
Last week or so, but I'll go down there again and look and see if there was any,
Yeah.
where we thought there would be.
Yeah.
And where we know there is some, what that looks like now.
And like, yeah, because, well, I know Matt said it was all around volleyball, but none of us saw any.
I'll look again.
So look
Where
again.
did you see it?
We saw it by the old electrical panel,
Where the old houses were.
come down the hill by the existing stairway. Come down that stairway and all over to the right. There's a hill, quite a slope.
It's pretty high, weedy.
But I mean, other than the porta potties being right there, I
Right.
think, and I don't think anybody's playing in there or losing balls in there or anything.
No, hopefully not.
So we'll take a closer look.
All right, so,
When do we meet again?
yep, we can look at calendars and pick out
Excuse me.
next meeting. Is there any public comment? You good, Emily? Thanks for coming. I was loving
Bring your goats.
seeing your face here. Her goats, but
Your
Jesus.
goat shirt.
Her goats did fairly well to this earth. Right, Emily? Yeah, they met their maker.
Can we?
Oh, they did? Oh, it is?
Oh.
All right, so today's the 28th. I have things going on. I know, it's nuts.
I'm sorry, one more quick thing.
Yes,
Can we
ma'am.
ask about the gate?
Which gate?
The main gate to
Okay.
the ticket booth. I don't know if that maybe, when did they start manning that this past weekend?
This weekend, yes.
So maybe was the intent to have that closed, do you think? Or, I don't know.
I'll ask about the gate.
Money?
I'm sorry?
Are they collecting money?
During regular hours, yeah.
I think actually,
they're not
I think Matt's mom moved the gate by her comments last
Oh.
week. I think Priscilla worked the
Yeah,
gate.
school.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I heard, that she was working the gate this weekend.
Okay, I'll ask them about the gates, all of them.
They should be open.
Yes.
They should be open.
They should be open. I know, well, the select board voted that the ball side fields stay open, and they still get locked up,
Those have
but
been locked for a while.
Can someone take the lock away?
I-
Can you just take the lock
I
away?
actually took the lock away and I put it down in the snack shack, and the next time I went by, someone had the lock back up on the gate.
The lock should come here.
It's
Our lock is.
it's a brand new lock. They just replaced the lock like 2 weeks ago. Which, why?
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 Who replaced it?
The locksmith
Oh,
that we
the what?
used, because the combo that was
Oh,
on it wasn't
Joey.
working.
Joey.
Yeah,
I
Joe
saw
did.
him over there.
All right, so I'll ask about that. All right, I got my list of asks.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Okay,
the gates should not be locked. It's town property that's theirs to use. If we don't want them parking on the roads, we gotta give them a parking lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Unlock the gate.
I know for me to, after the 21st, right, I get my head back. The 25th or 26th is not looking good to anybody.
We in June?
What's
Yeah.
better than July?
25th, 26th, 27th, I have open.
25th.
I can't make the
I
25th.
like the 25th.
We have one no for the 25th.
No, somebody said no.
Yeah, Kevin can't make the 25th.
Oh,
26th, 27th, Kevin? Either of those?
Yep.
25th, 26th and 27th, Kevin's open.
Oh, wait,
Either one's fine
26th, I have
for
a
me.
planning board meeting.
Okay, 27th, anybody? Ugh.
I might be a little late on the 26th.
Unless you wanna do, we could do June 2nd.
That's quick.
Oh, sorry,
June 2nd.
July, my bad.
I was like, that's a Sunday.
I should not be trusting with anything.
I can do the
This
26th.
is the 2nd of July. I have open.
Like, no clue what's going, that's so close to the
Oh,
fourth,
that's
there's no
the
telling.
fourth.
That's their
Yeah,
fourth.
there's no telling.
That's the week of the 4th.
Yeah. I don't
So
think
where will
wanna
we,
do
who
that.
could do the 27th?
All right, I'll do it.
27th,
Uh-huh.
Thursday's not ideal, but I can do it.
Anybody
don't-
else?
I don't know what's happening in here. That would be Lindsay's question.
So do you want to tentatively do Bunganut the 27th?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And I will put that on 6 o'clock. And I'll put that on the June 27th at 6 for me to report. Okay. Phew. Good job on the Heinz people. That's pretty good. It'd be nice to
wonder-
get that going.
The gates, if we leave them unlocked, I mean, it should be all of them.
Should be all of them.
Even that small parking lot to the left of the ball field.
Yeah. She's putting cameras up again. I think they need to have,
I think the Y might be upset about that because I
Wow.
know they had issues with people parking other spots and
And
just
walking
walking across the
Walking
road.
in, yeah.
well, I mean, that's where it's like, do we need a handstand? Any patroller now, if you don't have a stamp, say, where's the stamp?
Now you got someone
Is it
being a
gonna
cop.
really be that much money that we're gonna,
Yeah.
there's gonna be people that cut through the woods no matter what you do. And
Yeah.
until we have a stamp or bands that people get.
So I have the surveyor's information, I'll send it to you.
Oh, thank you.
Brad Lodge.
Oh, yeah, I'll send an email tomorrow to Lindsay if you wanna forward that to me.
Yep.
And I'll see if he could give a price for survey. And again, I do know from the town manager that, like, the harvesting and the wood stuff and the forester, a lot of that, the monies they're hoping to be able to use to kind of turn over and do survey for Bunganut, get surveys for other things done. So, that is part of the process that's happening right now.
How can we get info on that,
I'm not,
the harvesting and which
town
pieces
manager
and
can let
stuff?
you know.
Sweet.
Yeah. She can let you, I'm sure they have some plan or some layout already. She's been working with them. I know he did go down there, after the disastrous storm we had. So she is working with someone. And so you can just check with her and I'm sure if you ask for a list, she'll give it to you. But he is looking at like all the different parcels the town owns. So, as well as harvesting down, because I mean, it wasn't that long ago, Bunganut was down, it's just.
I don't think they ever finished it though. I think it was too wet. They
There's
never
still
finished it.
more to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was supposed to come back and
And now there's, of course, they now issues with the pines there, or the red pines that need to be taken care of, so. Yeah. Anything else, anybody? Well, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. We adjourn.
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor? All right.
So
thank
weird. I
you
don't get to make
all.
motions.
Excellent.
I like making motions.
That's a good question.
You like making motions at the end, right?
Yeah, I don't get to make motions.